Hey everyone, welcome to the Honey Flow Talk Show. Really excited to bring on the next panel of women. It's been so awesome this month, such an incredible journey. So, big shout out to Rising Queens, which is DJ Jen Jen's brand out of New York. She's been helping me so much on these panels and just getting more comfortable and bringing on more women and questions and graphics. And of course, Rising Queens is her brand. She's got some exciting things in store that she's going to talk about with her brand and what she plans to do for the future. We're going to bring her on Monday on my show just to go over all the bloopers, all the conversations, all the highlights of the last four panels, showcasing. I believe it was close to anywhere from 30 to 40 women this month, four panels, and make sure you guys check it out. The last replay, it was really inspiring. We had the aunties of Twitch on, and they gave a lot of insight. They gave a lot of knowledge, and we went a lot deeper too. So that was such a great discussion, and all the other women. So I'm going to bring on some of these powerhouse women today. We got Yo JD from Montreal, guys. She does a really dope show. It's always original. You're always going to know her for her nice brick wall in the background and her lovely look online. She plays pretty much everything, anything from Amapiano, Afro beats, and a lot of interesting different genres of music. And of course, a fellow Canadian. So we got Soph the Sage coming up. She's from New York as well and does a great show too. She started, I believe, during the pandemic. We're going to talk to her when she comes on. From New York, we got Ms. DJ Tone in the building, all the way from Chicago. This woman is smooth. She is so smooth. And she's always supported my show, and I'm really honored for that because she's such an incredible DJ. I could really learn from her. She's got some funny videos on Instagram. You're going to see her at the roller rink in Chicago, to doing tons of different festivals, lots of different real-time gigs too. And she's a natural. You could tell she's been doing it for a while in Chicago, and she brings that flavor. And her videos kind of crack me up on Instagram of what DJ should do and what they shouldn't do. And of course, there's a few things Honeyflow does that she's like, don't do, or she has an expression. So we're going to talk about that too. We got DJ Mai Tai Jilly from Philly. We call her. She's very smooth, like Jilly from Philly. She's going to be coming on a little later too. She's getting home from work. We got Portia live. She just moved from Argentina. She's killing it, you guys. She's doing a lot of international gigs. She's traveling the world. We're going to talk to her about that. And of course, we got Lady Gemini. Lady Gemini 81. We're trying to influence her to do a show. She's got a personality. She's got character. She's hilarious. I'm trying to get her to be a bachelorette on my dating show. And she says no, Honey Flow all the time to me. But I'm hoping that we can get her on because she definitely has a personality for it. All right, so let's bring in these ladies. I'm done talking here. And yeah, let's bring them in. How you guys doing? Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, actually, let's see here. Oh, I think Jen is probably, let's see, maybe I'll just take her out for a second till she's ready. Okay. Okay, awesome. Did I get everyone? I'm just trying to see. Sometimes I miss people. Let's see. Okay, I think I got everyone. Awesome. All right. So yeah, this is and feel free to host, you guys, let people know that we're on so they could come down to the show and hear more about these women as well and what they do. But maybe we'll just start off with Ms. DJ Tone and kind of go through in order. If you want to introduce yourself and basically what you do as well to everyone.
Hi everybody. I am Miss DJ Tony, from Chicago. I kind of do everything. I've been doing this since my first pregnancy. So my daughter's 17 now, so I guess I'm an old head. I'm not new anymore. And I kind of do. I do private parties locally, but my specialty is doing roller rinks throughout the country. And I am super excited to just travel again this year. My busy season is picking up. So hopefully I'll meet somebody somewhere in some city this year.
That's super dope. That's awesome. And we got Lady Gemini as well. She's not a DJ, but we're gonna get her to. She's got a lot of cool things behind her, and I definitely am honored that she's on with us today. So yeah, why don't you say? And we're gonna try to get her to. We're gonna all influence her to get a show, you guys, because she's got the personality for it. But why don't you say where you're from, what you do, as well?
So, hey y'all, I'm Lady Gemini. I am from DC, but I live in North Carolina. I'm honored to be the only one on the stream on the panel, not a streamer, because it just shows how different I am and what I can bring. Um, Nothing fancy. I'm just an ordinary girl living in a somewhat ordinary world, I guess. But yeah,
All right, awesome. So yeah, and we got to convince Lady Gemini. I'm going to keep harassing her until she actually says yes to my dating show. So you guys are going to have to help me. Can't be me by
don't y'all
myself.
co-sign that. Don't
We
co-sign
got
that.
to You guys got to co-sign it. How many? Okay, throw some ones in the chat if you would love to see Lady Gemini either as a bachelorette on my dating show or a contestant. Throw some ones in the chat. I know some of you guys know Lady Gemini in here, so throw some ones in
They
there.
better not. Look at this. Look at these people.
Anicia, is it Anicia? Anicia is like I co-sign. All the ones are going up for Eva. KD's throwing ones. Portia Lives
I'm gonna have
throwing
a
ones.
conversation with some of these people after this, for
Uh,
sure.
Bella as well. Monet is throwing up some ones. Ooh, you're pretty popular, Lady Gemini. Everyone's throwing up ones for you. Yes, talk. Hey, there we go. Talk to Menace says, or was it? Yeah, I think it was that comment says, you're beautiful. She's beautiful. So yeah, we're gonna have to work something out, Lady Gemini. All right, and we got DJ Soph the Sage as well from New York. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I was muted. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Hi, everybody. I'm DJ Self the Sage. I'm from New York. I've been DJing and streaming pretty much the same amount of time, 3 years in a couple weeks. So, yeah. Oh, I don't know what else to say. I DJ. I stream as well on Twitch Wednesdays, most Wednesdays. And I do raids, things like that. Well, I'm on raids. I don't put them together, but I'm there.
Yeah, awesome. And we were just saying Yo JD that we kind of feel like she's an undercover Canadian, like the whole time.
Yes.
The whole time we're like, she's from Montreal. She has to
Yes,
keep
the
telling
whole
us.
pandemic, everyone thought I was Canadian, and I was like, "Yes, I even got a Canadian flag and a hat.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
We just gotta
ready."
get you to say a little bit more and you're good.
Yes,
Yeah. And Tim Hortons cup.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, we're gonna work on you a little bit too. All right, we
Yes.
got Portia live as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Portia. I am actually from South Africa, but I grew up mostly in the US. I recently moved to Buenos Aires, Argentina, like maybe like 8 months ago, but I feel like I'm here like half the time. So I'm kind of like between here in Miami and here in the world.
Are you liking the adjustment? That's a huge adjustment, I'm sure.
It is a huge adjustment, but it's a very simple life, which is okay. It's nice to simplify things and not have too much stuff, and not put too much value on things. So like I feel like right now, like what I focus on is more music, more rest time because I feel like that's something I haven't had in many years, at least pre-pandemic. So yeah, but I DJ on Twitch. I started DJing during the pandemic, and I probably started streaming late 2020 to like early 21. But I
Oh,
also put together a monthly raid that I always forget about. That I need more females on it. So yeah.
okay, awesome. Yeah, so definitely hit her up. Yeah, I'm definitely down as well. Have you linked up with any DJs in Argentina as well?
No, but I have linked up with one of the women who is on Twitch quite a bit. So like when I found out she lives in Argentina, a mutual friend was like, "Oh my God, you need to meet her." So we've gone out a few times to dinner to have like, wine and things like that. But there's a few DJs here that I know on Twitch, but I haven't like met them like in person yet.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I gotta definitely link you up with someone. We'll talk after for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then let's see here, and yeah, we got Yo JD as well. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Real JD. I am from Montreal. I DJ here on Twitch. We're going on what, year 2 of DJing, so I'm still brand spanking new. But yeah, no, I'm having fun, and I like to play different genres of world music. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And then, of course, we got DJ Jen, the mastermind behind Rising Queens, and also, helping me so much with these panels and getting comfortable because she's a teacher by trade. So this is like easy for her, much more complicated for me, but very easy for her. So why don't you kind of explain to people what you do, Jen, and just what you've done this whole month as well?
Hi everyone. Happy Thursday. Sorry if you saw me looking up. I was doing the mommy thing. That's what Jen does, right? Baby girl wants a second plate of food, so I'm gonna have to disappear in a second. But as far as me, I've been a DJ off and on pretty much in my early 20s. Didn't really grasp the idea that I was a DJ until maybe a little bit before the pandemic, when I started playing. I think it was like 1 or 2 years before the pandemic, at local events and friends and families and things like that. Never even picked a DJ name until I came on Twitch. Everybody just called me Jen the DJ or something like that, and then decided on DJ Jen. In the pandemic, and I came on board wanting to just play music and have fun. And Rising Queens came about because I didn't see a lot of faces that were women on the raids. Is it 4 years ago, honey? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, going on 4 years now.
Yeah. So at that time, it was something that I felt I needed to do and I was capable of doing, since I didn't see a lot of opportunities for me to be on raids. I had to ask a lot of people and didn't really get much responses. So I created a space for us and kept it going for a while up until now. I see everyone's is on board with. Portia just said she's doing a raid herself. Yo, JD did one a couple of times. Like, everyone is now, like, switching up the game and making it work. And that was the purpose of Rising Queens. And I love that all these queens rose up from that and have been continuously doing that. I now host a raid only just like mostly during Women's Month, and I'm planning to do it on the anniversary. Eventually, I would love to do a women's festival around it and have a meetup or something around Rising Queens. I was thinking about it this year, but I think I'm gonna wait till probably sometime next year so I can wake and basically organize it with Soph to say, since she's in New York City, and bug her and poke her about it, and kind of go from there. Right now, I'm just a streamer. I stream whenever I can. As Honey Flo said, I juggle a lot. You guys see I was doing the mommy thing 2 seconds ago. So I have to prioritize my time, and running raids is hard. For those who do it, it's a lot of timing, a lot of scheduling, a lot of juggling. And if you have a very busy life, it does get difficult. And right now, took a step back to just kind of like reflect and do things for me, which right now I have a lot of projects going on. Not even projects, I'm just joining on teams that are playing outside. Like, I want to venture outside and play with different DJs. So I have some couple of events that I've been asked to be on every month. My next event is 420 here in New York at a called I Want to Dance, but this is our reggae and dancehall edition. And I'm on board with DJ Charisma, which I'm super excited about. I'm like, I'm the small fry. How do I get on here? But but I'm on there with DJ Charisma, DJ Silence, aka Silence PD, Heart and Harry, and a few others that I honestly didn't really see that happening from a person who's just playing her basement and have fun with her family, drink Rona all night. But yeah, so
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's congrats on the opportunity as well, right? And for all you guys that don't know, I think you mentioned that he wasn't he Lauren Hill's DJ or worked with the Fugees?
Yeah, so Heart and Harry is the original DJ of the Fugees way back when. I know he's probably gonna kill me for saying that, but and still in connection with all of them and everything. So that's an honor to play with someone, especially since I idolized Lauryn Hill so much growing up. Her album was like my whole existence in high school. So, and I'm sure a lot of ladies can sign off on that right now. So
Yeah, that's super dope. You never know who's watching in the room, right? And a big thank you again to Jen for helping me this month and giving me the ideas and to do more panels like this, which I think is well needed, not just for International Women's Month, but like in general. So I hope we could continue that monthly, right? So if there's
Mhm.
anyone that would like to come on board, just like message me as well. We got a bunch of people in the chat too. I know I probably can't shout out everyone, but we got Forever KD. I see Black Girl Gamer. We got who else here? Intro Mods, Sunny in the building. Ms. Understood, is it? Brittany as well, Brittany, and everyone else. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We appreciate you, Bella, Monet, and DJ Deep. I good to see you, and everyone else. Thanks for coming through, you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to ask also what projects you guys are working on, just so people know, or if you have any passions coming up that like anything that you're passionate about that you're either working on or you want to work towards, definitely let us know. So we'll go to Lady Gemini.
Aside from the fact that you are convinced that you should pressure me to be a streamer, I have given it some thought, but again, it's just been a thought. But on a more personal level, I am the founder of a nonprofit organization. And that has been my focus for the past like year. I founded it in 2017. It's called SAVE, and it stands for Siblings Against Violent Encounters with Death. I started the organization for people like me who lost a sibling to violence, mainly because not to be somber about it, but when I lost my brother, all of the attention was going to my mother, who had obviously lost a child and was heartbroken, and none of the attention was on me. Not saying that I needed the attention, but it would have helped me in my process. So I started the organization for that. It's been since 2017. I hit a rock during the pandemic because people were not as receptive to it, but I'm in the rebuilding process. So it's coming along good. But for the most part, that's where my focus is, aside from being on Twitch, because Twitch is life.
For sure. I love, like, you guys got to see her story online for real. Like, make sure you guys Google her story and just on her Instagram page and just her nonprofit. I had a chance to kind of go through it. And, I just think it's so admirable and awesome that you have the courage to, because it's hard, right? Especially going through grief. It's really, really tough. There was actually someone else on my panel. I think I'm going to link you with. I got to make notes here who to connect who with to. But there was another DJ on my other panel that lost her brother. And then another, Tasha Starr shares her story losing her son. So they connected, so I think it would be great to connect with her as well. And she's a DJ here on Twitch too. But kudos to you. I think that's awesome to do something like that. And what's the name of the nonprofit again? And how could people help or support it too? Like, where could they go to help you or support that?
So the name of the organization is Siblings Against Violent Encounters with Death.
Okay.
There is a link to, I did a podcast with someone else who lost a sibling to violence. I did a podcast with her. That link is on my Twitch page, and the link to my nonprofit organization Instagram page is also on my Twitch.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm gonna definitely look at that a bit later. And if anyone wants to help in any way I could support or any of us can support, that would be great, because it takes a while to start something too, right? It's a lot. So yeah. So if anyone wants to, help or donate, that would be a great cause to do that. Even if you work for an organization or a company, sometimes they have the funding to donate to a nonprofit and they match it with an employee or an employer. That's someone gave me that idea when I did the human trafficking raid train against human trafficking. So yeah, if you guys work for a company, definitely message Lady Gemini. That would definitely help her as well. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that too. Yeah. And Yo JD as well. What passions or projects are you working on or like to work on? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think my goal for the year is to start learning how to scratch. So yeah, I think that's at the top of the list right now, and being a little bit more consistent with my streaming, not just relying on raids and stuff like that, but really just nurturing my growing community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. You should check out DJ Shorty. She gives free tutorials on scratching. Like a lot of times, if you add yourself to her email list, and she's like a ridiculous, like crazy scratcher. So like Pam the Functress. So yeah, you got to definitely check her. All right, we got Ms. DJ Tone.
I just put in the chat, like, girl, I can't scratch to save my life. I've been doing it 17 years and I refuse to start today. It's just not happening. But for me, some of the projects I'm working on, so I travel as a DJ, and so I'm getting into my busy season. So usually between April and October, you will not find me anywhere in Chicago. Like, I'm home today, but I might not be tomorrow. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I'm everywhere, and so I kind of book up my year in advance, so I know what I'm doing all the way up until November. So some of the cities that I know I'll be at. So like when I say I have a calendar, because I can't remember. April I'll be in Colorado. May I'll be in Detroit, Memphis, and San Antonio. I think June I'll be in Atlanta. July, Chicago. August, I can't remember. I got a couple family members, family reunions, I know that. And September, I'll be somewhere on the West Coast, and October back in Dallas. So I'm just literally running, and then I just kind of just chill from November to February or March. It's kind of like my get somewhere and sit down, chill season. So everything is ramping up, and so I'm getting ramped up with my business as well. So I know all of us being women, we kind of run our businesses. Some of us have help, some of us don't. And so I am my own graphic specialist. I'm my own social media. I'm my own assistant. I do my own booking. I'm my own manager. I do all of that. And then I still have to be mom to work my 9 to 5. So I like literally came straight from work to do this. I got another Zoom at 7. And so it's all about compartmentalizing. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But in the meantime, just for the month of April, I'm just doing, I won't say I'm bored, but it's probably because I was bored. I figure, you know what? I have $100 to throw at something that could grow my skate community. In all seriousness, I just want more music to be released from some of the producers in our community. So I just said I have $100. Whoever makes the best track, send it to me by April 28th. I'll listen to it. I'll pick a winner and give them $100. Which
Ooh,
could
that's dope.
one fail, but I want something for my community. And then, like, let's be honest, truth be told, if you could get like 7 or 8 brand new tracks that nobody else has, why not host your own contest? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I like to work with some of the producers within the skate community, and nobody's really doing any challenges or anything. And so it's kind of twofold, where one, the producers get to try something new, and they get to, venture out. Like, they love old school R&B, they love hip hop. Like, can we do something outside of those genres? So I challenged them, like, research dubstep and do something with that. And then whoever comes up with the best dubstep sampled or newly created track, then I'll give you $100 if I like it. But so far, I put the challenge out 2 days ago, and 2 people have already sent me music. I was like, hey, you guys, you have until like April 28th to send me your final mastered track. You don't have to send it to me March 28th, April 28th. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So right now, just focusing on helping other people create new music for the community that I work for.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And yeah, I think that's an awesome idea for sure. And I wanted to say, oh, I just checked my other laptop here. Thank you so much for the bits, Ms. DJ Tone. Make sure you guys are adding all these amazing women as well. You guys are doing a lot. And if I'm just curious, I mean, you guys don't have to mention because sometimes people Google you on LinkedIn and it gets a little crazy too when they're adding you. But if you wanted to, if you want to say what your day jobs are, it's up to you. I'm just always curious because I always get the response like, "Oh, you're just a DJ," but it's like we wear many hats as women too, right? And if they only knew like DJing takes a lot of work, but also it's very interesting. Like when I interviewed DJ Tila, she was like a police officer and just so many crazy stories in Chicago, right? Like I would never think just by watching your shows, okay, these are some of the things that you do outside of DJing, which I thought was cool. But feel free to share, but no pressure. I'll just Google all of you after, but feel free to share if you like.
Don't Google me. I'm the insurance lady. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Oh, cool. You're in insurance. That's interesting. I would have never thought, insurance. That's interesting. I came from insurance too. Hated insurance. Are you life insurance? Yeah, I don't like
Oh,
insurance.
honey, life, home, auto,
Oh, wow.
you got, I'll take it. I will write it.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. And we got DJ Soph the Sage. So any projects or passions you're working on or would like to work on?
Well, yes. So, my next gig is part for the Female DJ Association. We have mixes and mimosas in Connecticut. So I'll be going up there. I'll be doing my first open turntable. I've never done that before. So I'm excited to be part of that. And also I'm still working on my LLC because I want the LLC to be entertainment, not just DJing, being that I look to expand. But my day job is banking. So I'm a personal banker. So I'm not, I work two totally different jobs. People when I like me, because I don't care. Whenever I have a business client, I'm like, yeah, I DJ on the side. Wink, wink. Hello.
That's
Especially
awesome.
my restaurant owners. I'm like, hey, don't forget about me. They're always shocked because I have two different personalities.
For sure. It's like Superman, right? You change in a phone booth.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of
like that.
wondering if you guys keep it separate or if you combine them. Or I used to keep it very separate in insurance. No one knew for like 10 years or a good amount of years until they saw me. Then they're like, what the heck? We're so shocked.
It's the timing. Because when I first started in orientation, it wasn't orientation. When my first they have like banker meetings, they ask like, what do what's your hobby? So I started working there in 2021. And that was like within my first year of still learning. So I was like, oh, I'm learning how to DJ. I didn't have a DJ name. I didn't even stream on Twitch yet as a DJ. I was streaming as a talk show person. And so I haven't hid it from them. As long as it doesn't interfere, I'm okay. If it starts to interfere, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes sometimes you can combine them. Say if they bring in a nonprofit like a UNICEF or like some type of charity in their organization or a barbecue.
I won't even tell the story, but I'll just say I tried. And, when your price is not that high, but they find somebody who will do 5 hours for $150.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little different. Yeah. But they do keep me in mind. They're aware and they try to.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Just go to the competitor bank and say you're DJing for them.
Oh,
no. See what they say.
I need my day job.
I would do that. Going from shoulder padded suits guys to DJ. Do you got so that's interesting what you guys do as well. So for anyone that's hosting, guys, we're on this channel here under DJ Honeyflow. So I know there could be some people in different rooms sitting there thinking we're live there. So if you want to see the real party and all the chat, make sure you come through to DJ Honeyflow. That's where we are right now. Or if you just want to sit there quietly lurking under other channels, no worries. Have your popcorn, enjoy. But all the comments are kind of filtering through this channel here right now. All right. So we got Portia live as well. What projects, passions are you working on too?
So one of the things I'm very passionate about is traveling, and I'm very lucky that I get to travel every 2 to 3 months or so. But also that's more because I need to leave the country. Since I'm not a citizen of Argentina. So it gives me an opportunity to travel and go back to Miami and see friends and family or go somewhere else. So right now I'm just working on a trip in May to go to Miami for a few days and then Mexico for a friend's wedding. And then I need to put together a game plan for maybe some gigs while I'm in the US. That's kind of like what I'm working on right now. What I definitely want to work on is more music production and writing. And really, during my sets on Wednesdays, I typically will translate some of the Zulu South African songs. And so I want to write some things in Zulu and produce something as well and kind of combine that. I've had a lot of people reach out and be like, "Hey, you should do a track together. Can you write something and sing?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't sing, but I can read you some spoken word or something like that." So that's kind of not in the works, but definitely like on the periphery of what I want to do. But yeah,
Nice. Now,
in
oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
oh no, sorry. I was gonna say when I was in the U.S. and in Florida, I was working as a licensed physical therapist, and I can't practice in another country with the license that I have. So I'm currently working for physical therapy companies, um, like virtually as their admin slash salesperson. So I'm still kind of like have my foot in physical therapy, even though it's not directly related to patient care.
Oh, interesting. So what made you decide to move to Argentina? That's, like, so interesting to me.
Argentina was definitely not in the books. It was not in the plans. My boyfriend is from here, but we had planned on in the future, to move to Mexico or Spain or something like that. So Argentina was not planned, but he does have a mom and an aunt who are like older. His mom is 91, his aunt is 81, and those two have lived together for like 30 years. And his aunt was having some health issues, more mental and memory versus like cognitive issues. And so, as she was becoming forgetful, it was becoming dangerous for the two ladies to live together. And because his mom couldn't take care of his aunt, and he's the only kid between essentially most of the family that he has. And it his mom needed help, so that's why we're here.
Oh,
So,
wow. How
yeah.
are you liking the adjustment? Because that's a huge adjustment moving from the States.
I always tell people moving from LA to Miami for me was tougher than moving from Miami to Argentina, even though culturally and language-wise, it's very different from the US. For me, I feel like I have more coping skills or like know when I'm not feeling great, like what I need to do for myself to like cope and adjust and really trying to put myself out there more as the adjustment from LA to Miami was tough, and I feel like it's easier here. And like I said, it's like life is just a little bit simpler.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
feel like,
that's what I heard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's simple. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Awesome.
I've adjusted while considering
You
the
gotta
language
link up
here.
with, I was trying to remember because I was drawing a blank, DJ Luciano Solo. Do you know him?
Yeah, I was supposed to know.
Yeah.
We know each other on Twitch, and
He's a great
he doesn't
guy,
quite as
producer.
close to where I am, but I even almost went to a show. I think it was around Halloween, but the
Mhm.
place was like I think they had like 50,000 people. I was like, nah, I don't do stuff like that. I don't go to, so I didn't
Oh,
go.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's an
we definitely
amazing
connected.
person. Yeah, you guys gotta link up for sure. That's who I had kind of obviously in mind.
Yeah,
I'm
there's like
gonna
50
actually.
others.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you and Ms. DJ Tone because I notice you guys do a lot of international gigs, and that might help a lot of women. Just like how do you kind of market yourself or just get out there? I know Ms. DJ Tone's been doing this for like close to 20 years, so I don't know if it's easier or just would you say it's more networking or connections? Or because I've seen Portia live, like, killing it, like, traveling everywhere doing gigs, which is unbelievable, really amazing. So maybe I could go, maybe I could ask Portia live that, like, what advice would you say to someone that does wanna go out there, and do more, like, international? What would you say, like, work?
Networking networking is key. I mean, you have to network. I definitely have a lot of connections from LA and Miami, and as well as the connections I've made on Twitch. But a lot of times, like Miss Tone was, what DJ Tone was saying, is that you are your own manager, your booking agent. So my whole thing was getting to know how do I write a writer? How do I write, all these things that I need? How do I get those gigs? And so I reached out to some other people who are DJs, particular females, to kind of sort of like get an idea how to do that first. And then I would approach people like, hey, like somebody maybe I know who is throwing an event. I would reach out to them like, I want to play in your event, or I'm gonna be in this country or the state or whatever. And so networking is definitely key. And not always. Sometimes people will refer me. I think one of the gigs I had, the one in Curacao that I just had in February, there's a woman who heard me play on Twitch, saw me playing in DC, and she was like, "We gotta get you on this lineup for Afro Soul Festival." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "I'll talk to the organizer." She's from New York, and I was like, "Okay." The next thing, the woman calls me. She's like, "Hey, we've heard great things about you. Do you want to play on this event?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like so.
Yeah.
Then it was about negotiating the cost, what they'll cover, whether it's my room and board, flight, compensation for playing, and all the things they entail. So it's really helpful to network and reach out to people, talk to people who are DJs or in the same field as you are, find out what's a fair rate to ask. Um, like one of the women, she like Debbie Graham, she literally sent me her contract and her writer. She goes, "This is my use whatever you want to take out of it and things you want to add to it." And I was like, thanks, sis.
Wow. That's
So
amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, because I feel like we have such a pool of skills here on this panel, whether you DJ or not, like even how to start a nonprofit, how to go out and do international gigs, how to network, like there's just a pool of knowledge here and all the other panels that we could definitely support and help each other, right? Do different things. Yeah, lifting each other up. Exactly. And I just want to say the Machine JT. Thank you so much for the raid. I saw you raid in a few minutes ago. So welcome, raiders. This is we're celebrating International Women's Month. This is the fourth panel, close to 40 women that we've showcased this month. So definitely feel free to stay and join the conversation. And thank you again for the raid, the Machine JT. It's good to see you. I'm going to have to check you. Make sure everyone in the room adds them as well, the Machine JT. So yeah, we're going to get back to, I'm just going to ask Ms. DJ Tone what her advice would be to, any women or any DJ really getting out there and wanting to branch more internationally as well.
It's so funny you should mention it because the last 2 years I've run into a lot of people, and not just women, but just people in general wanting to know how do I travel as much as I do, and just truth be told, it even though we're all just here on Twitch, whether we're doing something in our living room, our basement, we're actually out and we're doing something, if so like a wedding or we're doing a corporate gig, we're all businesses at the end of the day, and so from there. I'll be honest, I got sick of answering the same question over and over again in my inbox. And so from there, I put together a master class of sorts for the last 2 years. And it's not a master class for DJs on how to learn, you should have basic skills as a DJ, but just teaching professionalism in the business side of being a DJ. So in the class, we cover things such as how to write a contract, what words of verbiage to put in your contract, so non-negotiable versus non-transferable, and what does that mean? Networking is definitely good. We also talk about marketing and branding and coming up with a goal or a plan, a marketing plan for your business. So what is your logo? How often are you on social media? What's your social media presence? How do you do certain things to protect your brand on social media? And not only that, how do you keep from killing your own brand on social media? Because it's really easy for us to, I understand everybody wants to travel and this is networking. This is a word of mouth business. So unless you're able to get out and, like Portia said, talk to people, hey, I want to play at your party, or you're passing out mixes. I don't do physical, I'm lazy. I've mastered lazy stuff, y'all. So I will do a mix and put it on Bandcamp and say, hey, here's my business card, or I'll text you my phone number with a link to my Bandcamp. So you can go and download it and listen to it without me actually physically handing you a flash drive or a CD. I just don't have time to carry crap. I don't even carry a purse. Okay. So If it's lazy, I'm going to do it. And if I can find a lazy, easy way to work my business, because I have a 9 to 5, because I have kids, because I do Mary Kay on the side along with DJing and insurance, I just don't have time to waste on the little things. So definitely getting out of marketing, asking the right questions, having a contract. If you're doing international or business or corporate gigs, making sure that you protect yourself by having business insurance and getting a certificate of insurance. That way, some of these bars and lounges that are able to pay out more than, $50, $75, $100 an hour, you can actually get these bigger name gigs by having just that certificate of insurance will open you up to more. And then finding out how you can protect your assets as DJs, your physical assets, your turntables, speakers, subwoofers, drugs. I don't know why people think dropping the mic is a good thing. It is not. So in case you run into somebody who wants to drop your mic, throwing hands, you want to make sure that you protect yourself. So I have not done a class yet for 24. A lot of people are asking about it. And again, it's just finding the time to do it when I'm not on my busy season. But I don't mind, if you reach out to me, I don't mind helping. It's just, we're women, we're natural born hustlers because it's just in our blood. And how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get out there and do it? So I'm not special. I don't have any special, wings God put on my back that I'm doing something that nobody else can do. I can do it. JD can do it. Jim and I can do it. Anybody can get out and do what I do. It's just how bad do you want it, and how much are you willing to put in and sacrifice to get what you want?
Yeah, that's awesome. As I'm listening to you guys, I have all these ideas flooding my brain. So, and Jen, we've talked about some stuff. So we're definitely going to hit you up after. we got some great ideas. But also, do you have to kind of be concerned about safety, especially being a woman in this industry, right? So when someone says, "Hey, I'm going to fly you out to Thailand," or "I'm going to fly you out here," or "Hey, why don't you do this frat party?" It's all guys. I had someone ask me that it was a frat party actually in a mansion, and I thought, oh wow, that seems pretty cool, right? And actually the party made the news here in Canada because it was during COVID. So thank God. My gut intuition was no, a strong no. But then I'm oh, but I've never done a party in a mansion, or I've never done anything like that extravagant. But then when he said it was all men and it was all fraternity, I'm I don't know if that would be very safe for me, so I'll pass. And that party ended up getting busted on the news with cops, and it was a big thing that you weren't really supposed to be. They rented a huge mansion and it was a bad situation. But anyways, do you guys have to be concerned with that? Is that something that you obviously think about too?
Absolutely. And you've got to have a contingency plan or a backup plan. Not saying, okay, every state and every city, every country is different. So I'm not sure how far you can go as far as protecting yourself. I'm just speaking openly and candid. I don't know how to sugarcoat. I don't know if you can carry a gun. I don't know if you can carry a knife, but you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Even if that means you got to bring somebody with you, or you don't show up by yourself, or you have a little bit of side money. So if you fly into a situation and you don't feel safe. I've been in those situations before where I'm in a hotel thinking I'm never leaving this room because everybody outside this room is absolutely insane. And it was Atlanta. And you would think I was in some crazy backwoods of the country. It was Atlanta by the airport. And I was if I leave with my laptop, I'm going to get robbed. So I had to find another hotel and pay for it myself because that's what the coordinator had already paid for. And I let him know, not only am I unsafe, if you ever book me here again, you will not book me. So it was insane. But sometimes you really just have to figure out how to protect yourself. And like you said, if it doesn't feel good, don't go. If you feel some kind of way about it. And there has been times where I didn't feel good about doing a party and I gave them their deposit back. I would rather give you your money back than put myself in an unsafe situation. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's good to talk about, because sometimes we don't talk about these different things and everyone's like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. But even when I interviewed DJ Chris Cutt, she said it's very common in Vegas to slip something in your drink, right? So I'm always second guessing, should I grab a drink from someone when I'm working or not? Because they always give you drinks, right? I don't drink on the job personally, but even if they give you a drink, it's always in my mind, like the conversation that when Chris Cut mentioned that, it kind of surprised me, right? So those different things I think you have to definitely also watch out for too, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for that. For giving that feedback. I think that's definitely helpful. We're going to I'm going to actually switch it because I know it is International Women's Month. So I was curious, and not everyone on here is a DJ. So we want to hear different perspectives and thoughts towards that. So I'm just curious, the women that you guys looked up to, like who inspired you and kind of what stood out to you looking up to the women that you have. So we could start with Jen. Go back to Jen.
I was like, well, I'm having deja vu.
Mhm. Yeah, I know
No.
it.
I was like, wait, did I answer this question about 2 weeks ago? No, but yeah, it's okay. For me, I always say my mom and my grandma, and particularly my grandma, I like, and it's interesting because I had a meeting today and we were reflecting on basically who brought your family here to this country. Because my family's from Guyana. And I looked at my grandma as the rock of her family who basically ensured that her 5 kids and her husband got to America, and her strength was exponential. Like, she came here not knowing anything. She came here to help her sister. She came here to, out of genuine heart, to help somebody else and saw an opportunity and actually decided to stay here in New York City, and basically find a job, find a way, find the means that's necessary to bring her 5 kids, because that's a big deal, 5 kids to here. And I always look at her strength. Later on, she started off as a nanny and eventually became a teacher, which is probably why I'm a teacher at this point. And she taught early education for many years, from I think kindergarten and first grade. And she's now, of course, almost 90, retired and relaxing, and just does her own thing and participates in her church. So I always look at her strength. My mom is a rock star. She is, even though we butt heads a lot, but she's a rock star because I always appreciate her entrepreneurship. My mother's is a hairstylist, and she's always been in cosmetology since as long as I knew. I think she said she started doing it when she was pregnant with me. And what I appreciate about her is that she never let anyone kind of stray her away from her own path. She doesn't truly care about like the rules of society, where she's almost 60 plus years old and wears a mohawk one day and decides to color her hair red, purple, or whatever. So I think just seeing that, her taking those types of risks and just doing her own thing, is something that I look up to, and why I do the things I do today and advocate for what my needs are for me and what my needs are for people within my community. So
Awesome. I love that. I want to see your mom. I hope you put her on your channel, because she seems like a character, So, and I can see you probably have a lot of attributes like you got from her. So I kind of want to see it. I'm curious.
She's not a talker, so I would see her being there just like, hi, and that's it.
So go to the hair salon. Go to the hair salon. Let her do hair and just stream it. That would be dope.
She's not even a talker at the hair salon. She is most definitely focused when it comes down to her, because she's very creative when she's in her element of doing someone's hair. And that's how I am actually when I start designing or coding or developing websites or whatever I'm doing that's creative, or painting as well. My mom likes to do artistic things too. But she doesn't really talk much. So met her the other day.
Yeah. She likes to dance, cool. Though. She dances a lot. Aww, she's a vibe.
I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Does she do your hair or no? Do you go to her?
Not off and on. The locks is easy for me to just like, there we go. But once in a while, I'll pop in on her. Locks was never really her thing, but now she's kind of like gravitating to it more. I guess because it is trending a lot more here in New York City, natural hair. So that was something that she adapted. When I first decided to lock my hair, she didn't know how to put the extensions in I wanted. She knew how to start the locks, and I wasn't gonna walk around with baby locks. I was like, I'm not doing that. No, we're not doing the baby locks. So I wanted the extensions.
Can't bat up the baby locks, Ginger. Come on.
Well, your hair grew so fast. So JD. So I'm like, I couldn't do it. Like No, like and you know what it is for me? My hair has always been really, really long. So like for me, when I did my big chop, it was such a transition, but I loved it, right? And then when I started decided to grow it back out, I was just like, I'm so used to length. So I decided to add on the extensions at the time, and now this is all mine. So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely suit it. And then I saw you with the curly hair. You said people mistake you for Dominican. When I saw your curly hair, I was like, oh my gosh, you do. You could pass for Dominican for sure.
Yeah. Don't let my mom
Wonder-
hear you say that though. But
Oh, I'll let him tell. Oh, shoot, I'm ducking. I'm ducking. I know Guyanese, right? I'm ducking. I'm ducking. As long as if I say curry chicken around your mom. No, wait. Chicken curry. Chicken
my mom
curry.
does not say no
Curry
chicken
chicken.
curry. Oh, no, wait,
Not
wait.
curry chicken. Chicken curry. Is that
It's
it?
curry chicken, all right? Don't know.
As long as if I say that, I'm okay. If I say around my Jamaican friends, it's going to be a problem.
No, we
Um,
don't say that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Lady Gemini, who were some women that you looked up to or that inspired you?
So, as cliche as it may sound, my mother, of course, because I grew up looking at her and her only, right? But along the way, there have been many women who have inspired me to do some of the things that I never thought I would do. I have this thing where I have to surround myself with people who are going to better me, or they can't be in my space. So I have friends. I'm in a social club, so I have that group of girls. I'm in a sorority, so I have sorors, and it's just an unnumberable name of people who I can say has contributed to anything that I've done along the way. But coming up, it would definitely have been my mother.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. And that's so true. They say you're as good as the 5 people you keep around you. And I have a few friends that argue that with me, but I really, when I heard that, it's always stuck in my heart. It's true, you know? People like the 5 people, you got to look at who you really keep around you, you almost become as well. So I love that you said that. That's
Hey,
great.
Jen. So I used to be a teacher. So shout out to you because I gave it 19 years. I gave it all I could until I couldn't give anymore. And then it was just like, y'all can have it. And I loved my short stage. My short hair stage was my favorite. I'm ready to cut now. So I just
Nice. What did you teach, Lady Gemini?
pre-kindergarten.
Oh wow. I wouldn't have patience for that.
So,
Wow.
It
Props
takes
to
more than
you.
patience, let me
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you.
I could
And
see
to
that
be
too.
honest with you, it was never the children.
oh,
I'll just
Really?
leave it at that.
it's
Is the
system.
parents
It's
or
the,
is
It's
the
always.
oh
And the administrators and
it's the
the
system.
people who don't benefit from the things that we do. I'll say that.
oh wow.
I wanted to add on to like what you said. I gave it 15 years and decided to call it quits. But I teach in a different capacity now, where I work contractually with students across. Well, I can't even say just in America. I work internationally, giving them teaching certification courses for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, mostly STEM related fields. I'm looking in the capacity of working with universities to go out and work with inner city kids with infusing computer science in schools. That's like a big goal of mine. So that's something I have decided to do because as you said, it was a lot. Like the system will discourage you in some ways in the education system out here in America. I'm gonna say like it's not a lot of support you get. It's not a lot of compensation that you actually deserve and you're entitled to. I feel like you're entitled to for the amount of work that you put in. It's not just you come in at 8 in the morning and you teach till 3. No, you're up till 1 a.m. writing that lesson, grading, calling parents, interacting, making sure your kids have their needs. And then it's also it takes an emotional toll on you just to be a teacher. You have to be compassionate about these children. And the homes that they come from, the dynamics that they come from, sometimes just it's heart wrenching. And to feel that, yeah, so it's a lot.
Yeah, the education system has become way too political for me, and my mental capacity couldn't take it. Like once it became, oh, we have to make sure that these children can pass this test versus we're going to give them the skills that they need to be successful citizens, they lost me.
Yeah.
And I tried. I told myself I was going to give 20 years. I gave it 19. I came close. I gave all I could. I had to do it for the sake of my sanity.
Yeah, I didn't even make it that far. The 15 years, the pandemic opened up a whole different light for me where I seen different opportunities, and I was like, wait, I can sit in my room or my office and just click buttons all day. All right, we gonna do this. I don't have to get up and go to nobody's school for y'all to stress me out and lose my locks. So that's where I'm at today. And I love it. I'm just looking to branch out more where I'm servicing more students. One of the most rewarding experience I had from teaching over the last few years, I got to work with a group in Saudi Arabia, which was an all girls program, mostly girls, I would say. And it was young women who are looking to infuse, like basically get in the workforce. And they had a grant that was there to infuse tech into their community and give them the opportunity to learn so they'd be able to work remotely. And that was the most rewarding experience I got. And the feedback and energy I got from them inspired me. It rekindled that passion of like, okay, I do want to teach. I want to do this. I want to keep servicing people and making sure that they meet those needs. So like when I heard Miss why am I forgetting names right now? I'm zoning out. Miss DJ Tone talk about your master class. I was like, wait, hold on. Like, oh, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. Like I feel like we need, like there's a need, not just like in the community of education and children, but also need for us as DJ, streamers, businesswomen, businessmen. Like we need to be able, and then also people of color, like we need to share information because some of the stuff you said, I didn't even think about. I'm like, wait, you know what? I gotta get this and that. All right. And like, I know about the LLC because Soph mentioned it, but then like you mentioned, like, there was something else you mentioned that we should have that open more doors from, growing out of that entity of just being in that smaller.
A certificate of insurance.
Yes, that
liability. Yeah.
Yeah. So like those things, I'm like, those are not things I'm not familiar with. You asked me about a lesson plan. You asked me about coding a website. You asked me about branding, marketing, and developing some type of app. Yeah, I'm good. Like, but that stuff, no, I'm not there. So it's just we need to share information with each other and branch out and grow together is what I want Rising Queens to kind of take off and be eventually. So
definitely. And no, yeah, and it's about collaboration, not being competitive. I know in this industry we teach being competitive and there's only one spot, which is so untrue. And just doing all these panels, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of women that teach, like you guys said, that have different things like how to form a contract, how to get your payments in order, how to do a media kit, how to do mixes, how to scratch. Like it's endless of what we can learn from each other, right? If we know that, it's about collaboration, not competing. And I think that's important to really do and find others that are willing to share that knowledge too, right? Because it's hard enough. I think all you guys can relate city to city. There's probably very few women that you see, but online you see like thousands. There's 10 million streamers on Twitch, right? But city to city, I know Ms. DJ Tome probably got stories being in the industry 18, 19 years, right? And probably being one of the few females doing it and traveling country to country, right? So, but there is a lot online for sure. But yeah, we got to definitely do that. Okay, so Yo JD as well. Which the women that you looked up to and that inspired you as well?
Okay, so this is gonna sound she's not expecting this, but Portia Live. You have not been doing this for very, very long, and where you have gotten yourself till this day is amazing. So anybody who doesn't look up to you is crazy. Girl, you're dope. So yeah. So it's like I want to be you when I grow up,
Yeah, I agree.
Flowers.
I agree. Definitely, she deserves all the women on the panel deserve flowers, but you really come a long way, Portia. Like it's amazing. It's incredible. It's beautiful to see, like your journey and others on here.
Yeah.
Yo JD literally said that to me the other day too. She was like, "I want to be like Portia." I was like,
she's a superstar to me.
I did not expect that. I was like, I'm gonna just like go pee. I'm gonna sneak away, and then I was like.
I agree with you, Yo JD. I do. Like, I mean, to see like where you have gone with, like, I never even thought about what I want to do with music, like, and then to see what you're doing, like, and you're out there, especially in like playing what we like, what we love, right? Yo JD, like we love house, we love Afro house, we love Amapiano. We love it, and like we want to be out there just sharing that with the world. Like I've been actually taking risks, just jumping out there and going to different clubs and lounges. It's like, could I just jump on and just play this? Because I want to play that. Like I want to go. This like I was telling Selections Mistress Kush, I want to go to South Africa with you sometime next year. We need to plan an overall trip and all of us to go and just like.
Girl, did I not stay in your DMs when you were in South Africa? Okay, like it was
Me too.
every day.
I was
I'm like,
too.
oh my god, I want to go. I want to go. Oh my god, that's so
That's so funny.
beautiful. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. You guys are gonna make me cry because I
Oh.
was not expecting that. That's insane.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
She's gonna be the next Natasha Diggs, guys. Just get ready. Get ready for it. No, seriously, for real. Get ready for it. She got her own style. There's people, women that you look at and you know that like boom, like it's instant, you know. And everyone I called on Twitch, I may have fangirled. I may have gone a little geeky. I'm not gonna lie. I've toned it down, my nerdiness, but when I fangirled some of these girls and said, hey, they're going to be at this time, 20,000 people, 30, boom, like they were. And I knew it the first day I watched their show, you know? And everyone has something here to offer that's really big, you know, but I definitely see that's something special in Portia.
Yeah.
Definitely see that with her show. And I see that in DJ Tila as well. I want Ms. DJ Tone back. Like I'm going to grab her by her ankles and bring her back because she has something really unique and special in her. And even as you were speaking, doing YouTube videos or tutorials or some of the stuff, I know it takes work, but I see you doing very well at like teaching people, right? And you're funny. Like she's hilarious when
Like even in the chat,
yeah.
everybody's like, "I'll take that class." I'm like, "I want the master class because we still have questions. We still want that community. We need people who can answer some of the questions that we have, especially supporting other females, especially supporting other Black females, right? Because I found for me that the most work I've got was because of other women saying, "Hey, can you be part of this?" And I'm like, "What? Like me?" And so I feel like I've grown in that space where women are carrying each other, women are supporting each other. Like you said, it's not a competition. If we can work together and create things together, it's beautiful. So
It's not always like that, and that's the sad thing about it as a female DJ. If you had told me I would be DJing like 15 years ago, I'd be like, "You're insane. I'm just having fun with it." I didn't. Who wakes? With me, I didn't wake up and decide I want to be a DJ. I don't know what I want to be, but I know I didn't want to be a DJ. And then when I did reach out to one of the DJs here in the city, she was rude. I was like,
Mhm.
what? So it's really hard to find other women who are willing to work with you and also not feel like you're out to steal her money or steal her gigs. I feel like everybody can eat at the end of the day. And I'm not you, just like Nike is not Adidas or
Period.
Puma. I mean, there's like 15 different types of bread on the shelf. If you want white, get white. You want honey wheat, get honey wheat. But we're not all the same thing. And so I just feel like we can all eat. And I don't support not just women, but anybody who puts down other female DJs. It's hard for us.
Yeah.
Whether you're a DJ or you're on Twitch or whatever, if you're MC, it doesn't matter. We have to work twice as hard as these men do to get the same respect and to not just be, oh, you know, she's a DJ with a pair of tits. She's just a gimmick. She doesn't have real talent.
Hmm.
So I'm all for us and anything. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm gonna do a master class next week. I have to. I'll work with Honey Flow to see if I can get something together. And honestly, like it may be like around September, October, like when I finally, get back from traveling. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I'm all for it. Honey Flow, I will forget. Please remind me.
Oh yeah, I definitely
No, I
will.
will. We will both be on it.
It again, because then I'm 2025.
No,
It's
So
a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people need to realize in this industry, man, it's like there's enough room for everyone and there's enough. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner DJ or if you have 50 years experience. I think if we just get over, you see a lot of egos in entertainment, if it's on radio, DJing, you know what I mean? And it's just like people are so afraid sometimes to give that knowledge. Like for example, Jonas helped me so much. Mr. Laddenhouse gave me close to 50 gigabytes of freaking music that other DJs, if you ask them, hey, what's the top Latin tracks? And they're like, oh no, Honey Flow, I can't give it to you. No, I can't give that. And I'm just like, well, I can Google them. Don't worry. Like, it's not really too much of a surprise, but it's just like, I'm not biting your style. Don't worry. I'm going to, now that you think I'm going to bite your style, I'm going to go to your event and I'm going to Shazam every single song then and do that on purpose.
I was just
No,
going
I'm
to
just
say
joking.
Shazam them and then tell them I Shazammed it and I found it. I'm going to play it like 13 times in my set.
I know, I know. Exactly. But I just find there's a difference when you have people that are willing to help you and do it from like a genuine place compared to others that are so afraid that you're going to take their like little boat cruise or something, right? That could be your next video, Ms. DJ Tone. What do you say in your videos? You guys got to check her Instagram. I was laughing hysterically because she's in her car. What do you say? You have an expression. You said, I don't like, no, what do? You go, I don't like
I don't
that.
like you. So,
Oh, I don't like you. Yeah, you guys got to explain that to them because it's hilarious.
okay, so my name is the same on everything: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. So you just find me on Instagram. And what's so crazy is I was just really just talking about how I feel, and now I'm getting messages like today's rant. Well, I didn't know I needed to do a rant today. I'm in a happy mood, but just some of the things that other DJs do, like she mentioned, like why are you holding on to that one track? Like our job is to improvise with music, so I'm gonna play 5 other good tracks in the place of the one that you won't give me. And if you like hold on to tracks, I just want to let you know I don't like you. So just share the track because I'm going to Shazam it and then I'm going to play it and I'm going to make sure you are around when I play it and I'm going to look at you and be like, I don't like you. That's it. Period.
She was saying it the entire time. It's like that video. What's that video that's gone viral? I don't know. You know how they say, "Oh, I'm this," or I don't know. I don't know how they do it. They're like, "I'm a DJ."
Yeah, I'm a
Yes,
DJ. I'm always gonna
exactly. That's the video. It reminded me of Ms. DJ Tone, but she put a twist in it, and she'd be like, "I don't like you if you use the." She's like, "If you use the."
I'm sorry.
Oh
Oh
my
Sync. She's like, if you use the sync button, like I was cool with her video until I felt called out. Then I'm like, oh crap.
I'm sorry. I
Well,
call
I used to
myself out
think-
too.
She's
I
like,
shot
if you don't
myself.
know if you don't know the difference between the 1 and 4th count, I'm like, I don't know, girlfriend. I get confused. I need help. So I was calling right because she's like, I don't like you. And I'm like, oh crap. Once in a while I do use the sync. I'm not gonna lie. And
I love you. I was
sometimes my brain gets confused with the 1 and the 4 and the 2, and I don't know where I'm at half the time. So, I'll admit to that. I don't mind.
Okay.
But anyways, you guys got to catch her videos. I was dying laughing on Instagram. They're really great. So I think, okay. So Ms. DJ Tone, who's actually inspired you? Who do you look up to for women as well? There's been a woman that's inspired you.
I have a couple. They're family members, and they're just strong women. One of them passed away. She died of breast cancer at the age of 29. I think I was 19 or so at the time, but she was just a strong woman in my life. And she's that like older cousin that you have that kind of snaps you in a place if she sees you doing something and you kind of quite don't understand why she's telling you, girl, leave that man alone, or, don't be chasing after these boys, or just seeing her go to college. And she was an occupational therapist. She had a real nice, not money is everything, but still she just did it by herself. And she built a lot for herself at a very young age before she died of cancer.
Wow.
So she was an influence for me to be a stronger woman. And then I have an aunt on the other side of the family who's in Apopka outside of Orlando, Florida. And she is just, she always challenges me because I don't know if you guys know about Chicago. We're not really diverse here. We're a segregated city, quiet as kept, even though we're up north. Kind of looks like down south. We're segregated, and just living in a place like this, and she's down south, she talks to everybody. And so she, taught me like, okay, you need to loosen up and speak when people walk by you. And I'm like, yeah, that's the South. This is not the South. We're a little mean up here. He's like, okay, some Southern hospitality will be good for your business. She's that auntie that's like, hey, your makeup looks good, but I just want to let you know your makeup will pop so much more if you wax your upper lip. So I'm going to send you a link.
Wait,
Oh
I'm
man.
gonna send you a link so that you can use this, and you just warm it up with your hands and you put it on. So next time you do your makeup, your face will be even more flawless. Okay, one of those family members, I love her to death, and I make sure whenever I do a video or I do anything, like if she's on right now, she would, did you wax your lip? I did wax my lip, but I love her to death. Hey, Auntie.
Oh, I
Sorry.
wish I could zoom you in. Now I'm trying to see if I could just zoom you in.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Oh man. Uh-oh, she's gonna do something because she's a character. Oh man. Yeah, that's actually very shocking. I was very shocked with Chicago. I've heard that actually. It really shocked me because that was the city I wanted to move to. That was my dream. I love the city. And long story, didn't make it there. Got an IL-2 with someone out here a long time ago and didn't make it there. But that surprised me with Chicago, that hearing that. And then I interviewed someone else that had a lot of crazy, like a lot of stories. I was like, wow. So, but just keep being you, I think that's what's special about you. That's something I noticed right when I watched your show, and you're so down to earth and such a lovely person that, and I feel like you have a lot to offer, regardless of how we are with our surroundings, like keep being you and keep being open to people as well. Yeah. So
If I can say anything to the ladies, whether you're new or whatever, I know I feel like the old head, like the big mama in here. But as you guys continue to grow your business, if like when I first started, I didn't know who I was, and it took some time for me to figure out who I was as a woman and who I was as a businesswoman and who I am as a DJ. And once you figure that out, sit in it, live in it, just be yourself unapologetically. And I wasn't always this way. I wasn't this same Tony 10 years ago. I was a little bit more reserved, and I care too much about what other people think. I don't care. So be yourself unapologetically. If I can't teach you guys anything else today, be you, do you, and screw what everybody else says.
Period.
I like that. We need some snapping here. DJ Soap the Sage as well. Who inspired you? What woman did you look up to?
I mean, so my whole life, my mom. So similar to Jen's thing, my mom came from Trinidad. So she came here in 1970, 1980, her and my sister. I was born here. I'm born and raised in, they call me a Yankee, but that's okay. I was born and raised in New York. But, the idea of movement, like I know some people who don't travel or maybe traveled later. Like my mom lived in Canada before she lived here. She lived in Toronto for 4 years. She lived in Grenada before that. So like, I think that's where my love for travel came from. And then recently, so there was a lady at my church that I grew up in. Her name was Mrs. Quarles. She passed away a few months back. And I watched her. I was at work, unfortunately, during her funeral. I couldn't get the day off. I didn't realize how impactful she was. Like, I knew she was. Like, I knew she was into politics. I knew she was like a Republican. So she was like really into the Republican politics. I was like, okay. Then, interesting. But I was like, okay, cool. And then, but she had so many people come up and talk about all these different organizations, regardless of political, like, these like Black female organizations, political organizations, like politicians, all these people came. And what I got out of it was like a question to myself of what am I leaving behind? That kind of put the battery in my back this year. So I have to say this is very recent, even though I knew her in my life, like growing up, I didn't really get to know a lot of the elders too much. I was kind of over there. So she's my inspiration, even though unfortunately it took me, her passing for me to. She's become one of my big inspirations in regards to like, what am I going to leave? What is my legacy? If I die tomorrow, what are people going to say about me? Because she left a big impact. So she is that other person. My mom especially too, of course, because my mom came from middle of nowhere, Trinidad to here and lives comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Versus living how she did there. So those are two women.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome. And it's true. We should all be looking at legacy, right? That's a question you should you ask that question a lot more when you lose people, for sure. But I think that's a great question, daily question we should have on our own all our lives, right? Whether we stream, do shows, whether you're on a platform, whether you're never seen. That's a question I think all of us should be asking ourselves daily. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And Portia Live, who's inspired you, the women in your life?
I was gonna say I think it's beautiful that I feel like so many people talk about their mothers or some kind of family female figure as their, their influence. I definitely would relate to that. I would say my mom and definitely my grandmother. Both, grew up in rural South Africa with there was very little. They didn't have much. My grandmother had about like 9 kids, and at a very young age had to raise all her kids alone when my grandfather passed away. No education, no job, and I honestly, to this day, I don't know how she did it. But, I feel like my mom, coming from that similar background, coming from nothing, and really working hard in her career as a teacher. Everybody in my family is a teacher, my uncles, my aunts, my everybody. Um, and moving to the US with my sister and I with, a Fulbright scholarship, and that's all literally she had. She was raising us in the US with money that was supposed to support just her, but somehow she made it work for all three of us and putting us to college and all those things. She definitely is a hero. I definitely feel like, listening to everybody talking, I'm like, I need to like make sure I let her know because she retired like 2 years ago and she's still working. I'm like, I don't think you're ever gonna quit. She goes, I think I wouldn't do well if I quit. I was like, I think you're gonna be that kind of person who just needs to be doing something, be involved somehow. And when she moved back to South Africa, she was a very big advocate for her students who were black because the school she was teaching in Cape Town is super, super racist. And she just felt like the students who were coming from poorer communities didn't had a disadvantage in the sense, especially during the pandemic when schools were being, students were being taught online. These students, even if they weren't kids, they were like in their 20s and 30s. They didn't have the means that most of the white kids in the classrooms, had internet, had computers at home. She's like, how are they going to do assignments when they don't have a computer? Because the computers they were using were the ones on the campus. So she's just always been the one to push boundaries, to push against like apartheid systems in South Africa. And so she left South Africa and came back and was still fighting for people in South Africa. So I feel like she's a hero because she had a lot of things going against her, and she was like, "Nope, I won't settle for less. Like this is not right." And she fought for people who couldn't fight for themselves. So I feel like I always tell them like if I had half that passion, half that fight, like I would, I don't know. I feel like I could move mountains if I had just the will that she does. So definitely somebody to look up to for me.
Wow,
One of
that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, and maybe you'll do that through music, right? In all your travels, do it in a different way to connect people, right? Like
yeah,
have music with a message. You never know the platform that's opening up for you and how you can do that as well, right? In a different way. So
yeah.
that's awesome. I love that. So I'm going to skip a few questions just because I know not everyone's a DJ on the panel, but I'm always curious too that if you know what you know now, like years later, what would you tell your 13-year-old self or that girl, knowing what you know or knowing everything you've been through up until this point, and all the life challenges and everything, all the hats we wear as women? There's so many things that we do, and I think there's a lot of resilience with women and a lot of strength. There is with men too, but I feel like it's kind of in a different way. So yeah, I was just wondering for you guys, what would you tell your 13-year-old self, knowing what you know now? What would you tell her? Anyone could jump in with this one, actually.
I'll do it. I'll be quick. And
Okay,
if I
awesome.
can go back in 13, first I would shake and slap her and be like, girl, what are you thinking? But I would tell her, if I could talk to Tony, she was 13, I'd be like, go and tell them people, F you, girl, F you. And they will not make your life any better. Pleasing them people. Live your life and do you. And I wish I had known that at a younger age, but if I can go back, I would give me more confidence. And I was dope and I didn't even know it. And I was shy and I would get bullied and let people just talk to me any type of way. And I just took it for about another 15 years or so. And it took some time for me to learn I am dope and to sit and feel my dopeness. So if I can go back and tell myself, I'd be like, hey, tap her on the shoulder and say, girl, F you.
Are you sure you weren't a police officer? Are you sure you're in insurance and you don't carry a badge or anything?
I'm an insurance. This okay. I'm 42. I might be the
I love
oldest one
it.
out here.
No, not at all.
So
Not at
this
all.
is me straight up and down, 6 o'clock, 10 toes down. Even at insurance. So if you call in and you want a quote, I'm telling you, hey, look, this quote is high. You sure you want this quote? I mean, I'm gonna sell it to you if you want it, but I mean, it is what it is, and take it or leave it. Take me or leave me. But I
Yeah,
wish I had told myself when I was 13, like, screw them people, they're not your friends. Do you and be great by yourself.
that's true. And you're not the oldest one. I could be the oldest one on the panel, but we won't say, we won't deliver age. That's why I hide behind hats, hide the wrinkles. Anyways, so anyone else want to jump in with that? What would you tell your 13-year-old self for that girl?
I think for me, I wouldn't even bother to tell my 13-year-old self anything different because, quite honestly, the things that I've been through, a 13-year-old me would not even understand. I would have I just wouldn't. Innocence is supposed to be what it is. Let the 13-year-old girl be the 13-year-old girl, and that 13-year-old girl has developed to be a 40-something-year-old woman.
Interesting. I like that. I like that answer. Anyone
Just to
else want to
piggyback,
jump?
yeah, just to
Go ahead.
piggyback on that, I was gonna say, like, I would tell my 13-year-old self to be just a little bit more self-assertive and follow your gut, but you might not be able to do that at 13, and you just have
Mhm.
to live those experiences to become the person you're supposed to be. So, yeah.
Or maybe we'll say 20-year-old self then. I just said 13-year-old. I just picked a number. We'll say 20-year-old then
I
too.
wouldn't even tell it to my
Yeah.
20-year-old self.
Interesting. Interesting. I like the answers. Those are very I haven't heard that before. That's a cool answer. Anyone else want to jump in?
I would say a hybrid of both answers, actually. 'Cause I was going to say what DJ Tone, I would copy and paste everything she said. I'm trying to think of myself at 13, but I've had a journey with a lot of stuff and confidence, and a lot of my confidence grew actually during the pandemic. So that's the funny thing. It took me hitting 30. I don't know, something when I hit 30 and back in 2020, something just kind of snapped that I can't explain it. It's very hard to explain. Oh gosh. Well, I got like I have almost 6.5 years. Oh, okay. I'm getting there. I'll be 40 soon. I'll be there. But no, I would a part of me wouldn't want to say anything, and a part of me would have been like, you're okay. Like you're not, there's nothing wrong with you. Take a deep breath.
Hmm.
'Cause, yeah. I've had to still unlearn and heal and all of that. So I would tell myself, take a deep breath. There's nothing wrong with you. And some of the people that your mom says ain't your friends were probably ain't your friends. For real.
That's so
But,
true.
because parents
Yeah.
be trying, your moms be trying to tell you, but you don't, you
You don't
learn.
want to listen. You learn. You
You
definitely
learn.
learn. Yeah. That's so
I think
true. Wow.
for
Yeah, go ahead.
me, sorry, I would think for me, I would tell myself to be easier and kinder to myself because I feel like I was definitely the worst critic of myself, and sometimes I still am too. I feel like back then when I was younger, I was much more of like I feel like a stereotypical Virgo than I am, and I feel like through the years I've learned to not feel like I need to be in control. I feel more now at 40 plus that it's okay if things don't work out perfectly because I always find that there's a reason for it, or there's something else I'll find in that future that I didn't have to control, that I didn't have to manipulate, that I didn't have to stress over. So I feel like I would tell
Mhm.
myself to be like easier and kinder to myself.
I love that. That's so true. Easier and kinder to yourself. And Jen, did you go?
No, I didn't. I was actually just listening to everyone's response, and I feel like I can take a little bit of everything that everyone said. Like when Miss DJ Tone said, like, fuck all those people. That's basically was like my whole motto throughout my teenage years. Cause like, I'm not trying to, I guess, shit on my culture, but there's like so much expectations that we have to meet. And it was so much pressure. And um, for me, like I was always the rebel. I like they wanted me to go into nursing and medical, like a lot of other my family members in education, which I actually ended up in by default. But I like there was so many things that I loved to do as a kid that I felt like wasn't really nurtured, like my artistic ability of drawing, painting, sculpturing, and allowing me to be free. And I feel like right now, as a who I am, I'm learning to be free. I'm learning to express myself. I'm learning to utilize all those skills and things that I had and talents. And to my 13-year-old self, I guess I would say, like, you know, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Eventually, you'll be able to spread your wings and do what's best for you. Um, and I feel like that's a big deal. Like, those pressures were real at 13. And I think in between Lady Gemini and Yo JD, like, the innocence of a child at being 13 within certain pressures of growing up fast. Like, I was the oldest in my family. My mom has, is it 5 of us? Yeah, I think it's 5 of us in total. And I'm big sis and had to make sure this one went to school and that one did their homework and this one did that. So I didn't have time to be a kid at 13. I was everybody's mom. I was the second mom in the house to make sure that everybody was okay and they had dinner and parent teachers conference that my mom remembered to go, or so I didn't have a lot of time to feed into the things that I guess I wanted to nurture as a kid and just be completely an innocent kid. So
Wow. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's really good as well. And I think I got everyone, right? Did everyone? I think everyone spoke. Yeah. So I'm just wondering, to you guys, like following up with the next question, what do you think a woman fulfilling her purpose means to you? I know some of you kind of covered that a little bit. I love Soph the Sage and a few answers. Portia Live, talking about who inspired her and some of her answers. But what does that mean to you, like a woman fulfilling her purpose? If anyone wants to jump in.
I'm still on mute, so I guess I'll kind of. Soph the Sage said something in the chat that I like. I'm not in chat just recently about legacy, right? What is her next step? Like, what does she want to leave behind? And I felt that resonated with me as I had my daughter, who's 11 now, and like, what do I want her to have from me if in the future, and what does that look like? And I think for me right now is just making sure that I leave behind a presence that she knows her mom did the best she could on this planet, that I gave to my community, I gave to her, I gave to myself, which is, I feel like that's something that we have to teach all women, like learn to give to yourself first and foremost, and feeding to you, and then be able to share that energy with other people. So like leaving that legacy of building something great where people kind of just appreciate those larger things, from like, I love the impact that I made as a teacher, that I make as a coach, that I make as a contractor, of working with people who remember me from just talking about, I had a joke in one of my meetings earlier about talking about a donut, because I was talking about Krispy Kreme, and the way I used to teach certain models of how to design a prototype, I would talk about how you design a donut. And I have students from like 10 years ago that still reach out to me to talk about, hey, miss, I got a Krispy Kreme donut today and thought about you. So like, that's something that I left behind, a presence. And that's something that I want to make sure that I have that imprint. So yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Anyone else want to jump in?
I would say, yeah, like similar, like the legacy thing, because I feel like walking your purpose doesn't have to be a pressure per se. It could be something that naturally happens. Um, I believe that everything you're supposed to do will happen. You will do it. I believe that, if you're meant, I like for DJing, for example, for me, this came full circle because I wanted to learn, and I tried to teach myself back in 2012. And I never thought I was actually really going to circle back. And I never would have actually thought I would ever actually become a real DJ. Like, none of that was a thing. I just was part of college radio, and I was like, oh, I want to learn. And I think it was virtual DJ, and I didn't even have the equipment. I just played around Britney Spears songs because I really like Britney Spears. And I just put the songs together, and I'm like, they didn't sound too great, but in my head, they sounded good at the moment. And I believe that like God will bring back what's supposed to be yours. That's I'm a firm believer in that. But I think walking in the actual purpose is walking with your head held high, and in the confidence of it. I think your gut will tell you that you're supposed to be there, and you'll know, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes
Ooh,
sense.
I like that. No, I'm just listening to
Okay.
what you're saying. Wow. It's definitely powerful. I love that. I think we lost Portia. I think
Oh.
she'll probably be coming back. Yes. Anyone else want to jump in with that one?
I'll jump in.
Mhm.
I think it's just kind of different for every woman. We all have different purposes, and sometimes you know what our purpose is, sometimes you don't. I didn't know what my purpose was. I think it's ever evolving as we grow up, as we mature, because what my purpose was 10 years ago definitely is not what my purpose is today. And so I guess just kind of going through this journey of life and just kind of just riding with it. It's a dumpster fire. But I'm on the dumpster fire till the wheels fall off. I say that all the time. I'm here till the wheels fall off. And so I just know for me, finding my purpose and where I'm in a place right now. I can say I'm good. I wasn't always good, and I had to definitely you think like a roller coaster. Nobody ever stays up. You got to come down. So I'm up right now, and just for me personally, not a brag or anything, just the things that I've done and just being mentally, my mental health, I'm up right now. Just some of the things that I've done and I've accomplished for me, and not just accomplishing it, but maintaining it and protecting it. So my peace, my mental health, my physical health, thank goodness. I don't need no major medications or anything like that. Not saying for anybody else who does, but just for me, just maintaining things that I didn't take care of when I was younger. And then not only that, trying to make sure that I remain a positive influence on other people, because it's so easy to just be good and then just only look out for yourself. There's no purpose in that. So that's why, kind of do the master classes. And I feel like if I can do something, I can be free with myself, then maybe I'll give somebody permission to be free with themselves.
Mhm. Wow, that's really, really good. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And Lady Gemini, do you have anything to maybe
I
add?
do.
Mhm.
So for me, walking in my purpose that I'm honestly still finding has always meant to me that I needed to be true to myself. There's a lot of people trying to do a lot of things like a lot of people, and it's not fulfilling.
Mm.
I feel like I have to be true to myself, because if I'm not happy, then probably nobody around me will be happy. But I have to be the happiest for myself. I have to take care of myself, because no one will take care of me like me. I have to love me, because nobody will love me like me. So being true to myself tops everything. And I can't walk to where it is that God wants me to be if I'm not being true to myself.
So true. Yeah, that's very, very true. How do you work on that? I'm curious because it's they always say that cliche, like, hey, you got to love yourself first before you pour into other people, before you love them. Like, do you guys have ideas on like how to really, truly, authentically love who you are? Like, love yourself, because it's easier said than done. We can say, oh, yeah, make sure you love yourself. People love themselves all the time on social media. They love themselves. And in entertainment, it's all about self, right? But that real kind of love, not like that surface love that we see so much online, but that real authentic love. Like how would you guys say that if that makes sense to you guys? I don't know if I'm making
You
sense.
definitely have to experience somebody loving you the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And after you have realized that you have been loved improperly, you will learn that it's not good for you. And
Better
you will
talk.
find yourself doing the direct opposite of what it is that people did to you. And people, love is a word that people throw around because they think people want to hear it. I get that. But when I say I have a love for, or when I say I love somebody, I genuinely mean it. And I don't feel like I could say that to a lot of people because, I mean, if I didn't love myself, I wouldn't know how to love anybody else. So, I mean, like I said, you have to experience what it was like being improperly loved before you can get to a point where you can know how to truly love yourself in order to get to a point where you can say, like Ms. JD Tone said, F everybody. Because it takes that too. Trust me. And it be the people
Gotta
who
roll
you
with
don't think that you would say that about. But when you have to say it for the sake of your own sanity and for how it makes you feel as a person, you will do it.
Interesting. Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of that because
Yeah, go ahead.
sometimes when it comes to loving yourself, and as much as we talk about, learning to love ourselves and being loved improperly, part of loving yourself is also being real with yourself and realizing I might be toxic. I might be the problem. I might be the problem. Okay. So, I can't sit here and just like truthfully say in all situations, I've been a good person. To somebody, I've been a bad friend to somebody. I've been a bad girlfriend to somebody. Okay. And I'm pretty sure at some point my husband was like, woman. Okay. So, and all of that, I just have to be real with myself. And in that process, loving yourself is loving all of yourself, including your flaws. And so there may be something that I have to work on or get counseling or therapy for, or figuring out, learning the hard way. Hey, if I keep these patterns in my life or I keep doing these same things, I'm going to continue to push good people away. And how can I say I love myself if I'm treating other people bogus? So part of your loving yourself is sitting with yourself and accepting who you are and the good parts of you, and evolving from your bad parts and learning from those mistakes and not repeating them, and then growing and being better from that. Because I agree with everything Lady Gemini said, because all it takes is one person to be like, you know what, forget you and I love me. But somebody may have said that about me. And so at some point I have to sit with that and be like, okay, how can I be better and move forward so that I can be a better me, not just for me, but be a better me for other people.
So true. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great.
And I'm just going to piggyback
Yeah, go
off
ahead.
of,
Yeah, jump in.
off
Yeah.
of that. I feel like, I don't know how it is for men, but for women, I feel like there's a shift that happens when you reach a certain age, whether you have toxic behaviors or you were loved improperly, or you're just tired of feeling shitty about yourself, where you're just like, one day you wake up and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to have to do better. I'm going to have to focus on me. I'm going to have to be authentically myself every day, all day. I need to go to bed happy with who I am. And these things need to take place. And it happens at different points for everybody's life. But these things need to take place in order for you to love yourself and to really, truly walk in your purpose.
So true. Actually, I love DJ. Thank you for that comment. DJ Russell Joseph, I like his comment. He said it happens for men too, but will they admit it? I love that. And I love, going back to Ms. DJ Tone, which he said, I posted this woman that I follow and I dig on Instagram, and the guy asked her, like, okay, what were some things that I guess were the breakdown of your relationship? And she basically just laid it all out. Hey, I got anger issues. I can be not a narcissist, but I think she said a few things. I can be this, I can be that, I'm this. And he was so blown away. I think it was the Dear Wifey podcast, which I like watching. I like watching that podcast. And he was so blown away. His eyes went bug-eyed because she was actually admitting, hey, I'm horrible at this. I'm not, I can be very selfish. I can be very much like this. And he was so shocked. He said, well, men usually feel that women actually don't admit their mistakes, right? Or admit that they need work too. But I think all of us need work, right? Like as human beings, it's so easy to just point the finger at someone else and the mirror there and say, hey, they did that wrong. But pointing the the mirror back at yourself, whew, that takes some real work. Takes some real work, and it does take a chunk out of your own pride. When you're able to do that. So I love that answer, Ms. DJ Tone. That we all got work and stuff to do, right? With each other as humans, we do, right? So yeah, going back to that, I don't know if everyone answered the question. I know DJ Mai Tai just messaged me. She's going to be coming on soon too. But
I had a
yeah,
I wanted to add one thing too. Well, for me, my personal journey was actually slightly opposite because, like, I guess everyone was saying, like, you'll find that one person who doesn't love you, right? And then for me, it's sometimes you find the people who will come into your life and show you what real love is, and not love like in like relationship, but like real friendship, what it looks like to be poured into when you pour out so much. I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use YoJD as my example because I met YoJD early in the pandemic on Twitch, and she didn't know. She was one of the few people who had, you people post on social media, and sometimes you post stuff and then people catch on to what your mood might be, but you're trying to be like secretive about it. She would be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "No, not really," but no one else seems to care. But so sometimes you meet those people, and even in a professional way as well, you get those people, and then you learn that you will have people who could pour into you that you can pour back into, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You know what I'm saying? Yes, YoJD will check in on you. She'll make sure you're good. She actually taught me how to be a better friend, so that's helpful too. But like, because I'd be sucking. But I just want to, I think that self-love, sometimes you need the right person there to hold you accountable. I'm going to keep using YoJD because she's been one of those pivotal people that came in my life in the last 4 years. So will help you like stay accountable and encourage you to move forward in what you're doing when you don't want to do it. She's constantly like, "Don't give up." And when you have more of those people come into your life, it's very helpful for you to remember how to love yourself as well. Sometimes you need a reminder on how to, even if you love yourself, you can have moments. Everyone has moments. We're all human. You need to have those people. A good community is basically my point. A good circle, a strong circle, people who genuinely care for you and want to pour into you, and that you can pour back into as well. Because obviously you can't, one hand washes the other type of situation. So
yeah, so true. Thank you. Yeah, thank you
no
for
problem.
that. And if there's anyone else, I don't know if I got to everyone. What does a woman fulfilling her purpose mean to you? Did we get to you, Portia? I thought we did. I could be wrong. Oh, I think you're on mute.
No, I was saying my computer froze, so I missed part of that part of this discussion. A woman fulfilling her.
So basically, and I know you definitely described it in the women that you're inspired by, but just what does a woman fulfilling her purpose mean to you as well?
I feel like for me, watching people live by the actions match what they talk about, what they say they're about. I feel like for me, that's a woman who's feeling that, because you hear what they're saying and you see them doing those things that they said they want to do, they want to be contributing. So I feel like for me, that would be something that I would say, and somebody who's enjoying their lives, right? Not to say that life is easy, not to say that every day is glorious and perfect, but like seeing them work hard to reach their goals and seeing them enjoying life and just like embracing being who they are. So I feel like for me, that would be some of the things that I feel like I go, like I feel like this person is living their purpose or living their life and like doing the things that they say they want to do and doing those things. So
Awesome. I love that. I think I got to everyone, right? Did I miss anyone? No, I think I pretty much got to everyone here. And I'm just going to piggyback on that one. I think because I feel like that's such a the question really hits deep for me too. I think living your purpose is definitely being a servant leader. I'm learning what that means. Sometimes it could be a leader silently when no one's watching. Sometimes it could just be showing kindness to people or helping people, or just, when I look at strong women that inspire me, like Christine Kane, runs like the largest anti-human trafficking organization in the world, and just hearing her story, how it just started with a woman going through the airport and being like, what can I do? I can't do anything. I'm just one person. I'm just one woman just traveling, right? And then her seeing a missing poster, and then it just being in her mind. She couldn't get it out of her mind, couldn't get it out of her heart. And now it's like she runs like A21 campaign, right? So I think when I look at powerhouse women, I think we talked about Harriet Tubman as well, right? Like when you watch her story, I was sitting in the theater just so blown away. And this woman was small. She was only, I think, around 5'1". Correct me if I'm wrong. She wasn't like a really big, woman. So to go back and to do her purpose and to keep going back and helping people, it's like, whew. I sat in that movie thinking, what am I doing with my life? when I saw, like when you look at women like that are inspiring, and it's really just like they're very ordinary women just like us. Sometimes you think these women are so grand and huge, and they have done really amazing things in life, but really it could be any of us doing something, right, to impact and to help. And I think going back to Lady Gemini too, sometimes tragedy, or sometimes pain or trials can get you to your purpose, right? So her starting a nonprofit with her brother, I mean, that's beautiful. That to me is purpose, right? So make sure you guys also add all these women in the room, but make sure you guys are definitely supporting Lady Gemini with her nonprofit and her vision in which she's launching and doing as well. I think that's awesome. So yeah, so that's kind of the things that were in my heart that I was thinking of. So what are some things, now that we're talking about love, what are some things that you guys love about yourself? I don't think we say that enough as women, but I think it's important to say that about ourselves, So Jen, it could be a few things, it could be many things. What are some things that you love about yourself?
That most people think that I'm energetic all the time and I can fall asleep in 2.5 seconds. No, I'm joking. but yeah. So aside from that, yes, I'm the Genergy. I'm the powerhouse, but Genergy takes naps. I took a nap before we came on today. But I guess some things I love about myself mostly is just my ability to be creative. Like that has always been a natural. It's just something I did naturally, no matter what it was, and what that, that canvas looked like. It could be music, it could be art, it could be a sculpture, it could be fashion. It just that creative ability that I always possessed and have. I guess my mom recognized from her early age, that part of me that was somewhat nurtured in some ways, but could have been nurtured a little bit more, that I found a way to nurture myself. So.
All right. Awesome. Love that. What about you, Lady Gemini?
I love that I'm passionate. I love that I can be depended on. I love that I'm creative. I love that I can shut out the world when I think it's necessary. I love that I love me. Like I was saying before, it took for me to go through these things for me to get to where I am, but I love the person that I am now. I can't expect for anybody to love me if I don't love myself. And I'm not just talking about in a relationship, friendship, I'm gonna make up a word, co-workership, in anything. I love the fact that I can love on myself.
Like I love that. And we do need some confident bachelorettes on the Honey Flow show for the dating show. So we do need some confident women like yourself, Lady Gemini 81. Since she loves herself, it's very hard finding people that really, really love themselves. And I've been harassing this woman to Don't you think she'd be a great bachelorette, guys? Put some ones in the chat if you think she'd be a good bachelorette.
We are not doing ones in the chat, y'all. I know this is her stream, right? Can we not
I
do
could
ones
do
in
whatever
the
I
chat?
want because it is my stream. We got to get her on to be. I don't know why she's so. You can't be afraid. I don't know why you seem confident. You're telling me you love yourself. Put your money where what's the
I don't have no
expression?
money.
Where it is.
I don't have no money.
Let's
Not
put
for
it to
that.
the test, guys. She says she loves herself. She says she's confident. Let's put it to the test on the Honey Flow show. I'm begging her. I don't beg women often. Like I will go down on bended knee on my show begging her to. I really want her to be a contestant or a bachelorette because I think she'd be a lot of fun. And she's a good woman and she's gorgeous. Come on. Any guy would be crazy not to take that opportunity. But
I
anyways,
didn't see that one coming. Honey Flow, you are full of surprises. I did
well,
not see that one
that's what they
coming
say.
at all.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Well, anyways, there's still more ones coming, on as well. So I think, yeah. So
Let me look at this chat.
So what did he say? He says, yourself is the most important person you'll ever love. You definitely got to love yourself in a humble way with humility, not in a cocky way, guys, too, for sure. Definitely in a humble way. Okay. So did I get to, okay, Portia Live, what are some things that you love about yourself?
I think for me, some of the things I love about myself are my openness to people, to experiences, to places. I think that lends itself to me having met so many amazing people and letting amazing people into my life and having those people essentially create this like world that I live in that I'm like I have to pitch myself because I go like how did I get here? How like sometimes I'll be in places where it's a small or large group of people and go, wow, I'm so fortunate to have so many great people around me, right? I feel like growing up, I was like super, super shy. I didn't have a lot of friends. And you get to a point where you go, oh, like people, you can have like a tons of friends, but are they really your friends? And like really, like you said, like 5 people that you keep around you, like that kind of reflect who you are. But I feel like I'm very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of people in different contexts, right? That are my team that I feel like support me in different things that I do in my life, whether it's travel, whether it's music, whether it's personal growth. So I feel like I've in the years after being super shy, I think like being open minded. I think being adventurous has also lended itself to me having amazing things and experiences happen to me or be in my life. I think those are the biggest things for me. Is like I feel like I'm very fortunate and happy that I am open minded, but also like I'm very adventurous. So those are my attributes
I
that I like about myself.
I love that. That's awesome. And you can tell, you could see that through your videos and how you dance and your travels. It seems like you're a very spontaneous, adventurous person. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Let's see here. And we got DJ Soph the Sage. Oh, I think you're on mute. There we
Yeah.
go.
Hi. Okay. Things I love about myself. I love my creativity. My humor. My talents. My so I've learned recently, and I'm working, I should say, on how to turn my people pleasing ways into from a negative to a positive, because I think there's a positive in wanting to like I enjoy making people happy. However, obviously not at my own expense. So finding that positivity in that, which I think DJing is one of those things, you can make people happy, put on the dance floor but without hurting yourself in the process. So my love for people, that is something I love. I find the strength in that, even though I've had to alter it from being a people pleaser to being a person who just loves people. But yeah, those are the things I love about myself. And my personality overall. I'm a little doofy. I'm a little bit of a nerd, a lot of a nerd. And I've learned to just sit in it and enjoy the ride.
Awesome. I love that. Welcome, Raiders, Yo JD. And for anyone that's hosting us on different channels, we're here on my channel under DJ Honeyflow. So you're going to see a lot of comments come through. So feel free to pop in on this channel. You'll see mostly all the channels. But if other channels are going live, it's going to showcase on their show. And welcome Facebook, YouTube as well. We have other people watching us on there too. Dr. Dady Priest and everyone else coming in the building. Just had her on a really inspiring panel, my last panel. Make sure you guys check the replay. It was really good, really deep conversation. And they had a lot of insight to share country to country, which was awesome. So yeah, feel free to join the conversation here, you guys. All right. So we got Yo JD. What do you love about yourself too?
I would say that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So if I want to learn a new craft, I'm going to learn it. If I want to start a new little hustle on the side, I'm going to do it. And I stick to that and I show that to my kids and they see that and I love that. So yeah, that's what I love the most.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. So we're going to get back to kind of like a DJ streamer, or really, if you don't, just lessons in general you've learned. But some of the lessons as a DJ streamer, what have you learned like on this platform and off? You could also be a mod or you could be a viewer. You know, what are some things that you've learned just being on this platform in the last couple years? Jen, do you want to start it off?
Sure, I'll jump in, but I also wanted to kind of chime into something Soph said a little while ago about one thing I appreciate about Soph is her authenticity, to own up to being nerdy and warm and loving and sweet. It was a pleasure meeting her for my birthday and hanging with her again this past weekend. We had these quirky conversations about nerdy Power Ranger stuff over the last few years. So that's something that I appreciate about her. And she doesn't hide who she is. She is true to who she is. She lets you know exactly what it is and what's happening. And I appreciate that about you. And that's rare to find nowadays. Sometimes when you're connecting with people, they only show you like one side of them and you show you're a three-dimensional human being. And I love that. So,
and I also like how she mentioned the people pleasing. We talked about that if you remember, Jen, I think you were there a few panels ago. We really went into the people pleasing thing, and I, there was one that said, "Hey, you shouldn't, maybe say, hey, that's what you are, but if you're honest about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that." Everyone had different views and opinions on it, right? But I
yes,
agree with the Sage. I'm very much like that too. That's something I'm trying to work on. It's definitely not like easy switching what you've learned and trying to it's like unlearn those things, right? And people pleasing, that's something definitely it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, especially in this industry. So you have to have boundaries and kind of put your foot down and realize that you can't please. You're never going to be able to please everyone. People are just not going to even like you, maybe based on the way you look or your smile or you talking. Like it's like, but I'm definitely working on that too. That's definitely been a challenge for me over the years. But as long as if you're aware of it, that's good. So I'm really glad you brought that up because we did talk about that a few panels ago.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It is a journey. Whew, it really, really is. And it stems from a lot of different things too. Your background, how you grew up. I'm learning that. I didn't even know that, right? If you were raised maybe more in a controlled environment, you want to keep the peace. You want to make sure everyone's happy around you. People pleasing over caretaking, like caretaking people, meaning you could be in a relationship and like really try to do everything, like try to help that person a little. It's like over caretaking. Even all those things, like I'm learning, are, may not be as healthy, right? So it's kind of unlearning things, I think, as we get older too, right? And being aware of them. But I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Jen. Yeah.
No, I was going to add on to the whole people. Like, I feel like people pleasing has its negatives and positives. Like it really depends on how, like, I think one of the things I recognize within myself is I love to share information with people. I love to give people the opportunity to grow based upon something that I know and want to teach them. So I feel in that aspect, but it does come with boundaries. Like at a certain point, you have to set a boundary about like how much are you going to share, how much you're going to give out, how much you're going to of that energy that you want to keep pouring out and giving yourself time and grace to kind of just pour into yourself at some point and feed into yourself what you need as well. But it really depends. It has to be a balance of it. And I don't, I think, I know like it's based upon culture and how you're raised and maybe the controlling factor and a lot of other factors. But I think in some ways we can create a balance where it's not completely looked at as something unhealthy, right? You know, and that's really up to the person, right? Okay. But as far as your other question, I did have a thought, but I lost it given the fact that we kind of went into the other discussion. As far as, can you repeat the last question one more time? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, sorry, I was just doing a few things here. I just want to say, Yo JD, she had to leave. Thank you so much for joining us, Yo JD. Appreciate you. Make sure everyone's following Yo JD out of Montreal, fellow Canadian. She's super dope, you guys. Really entertaining to watch. So make sure you guys add her and of course, make sure you guys are also adding Ms. DJ Tone out of Chicago. She's super dope too. She had to leave a bit earlier, and I think Mai Tai is going to be coming in shortly as well. So let's see.
Hold on, pause. Yo, JD left before I gave her flowers. I wanted to add on to something, and that's something I feel like we all should do with each other, is like give each other our flowers, like what things we love and appreciate about each other. And I think Soph said it earlier about her ability to check in. And then she said like the things that she wants to do, she puts her mind to it. And then she also infuses that into others. Like there's certain times I'm like, I'm going to quit Twitch and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And then she's like, Jen, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. You know, like she encourages you to continue to be true to yourself and what your own needs is and create balance for you. And she has been an awesome friend in that capacity and cheering me on and vice versa. So we do love you, even though you left us up here.
Yeah, right. No, that's okay. Yeah, yeah, we definitely do. Just looking at the chat here too. So yeah, make sure you're adding them. I love Dr. Dady Priest's comment. She always has great comments. She says, most of what we need to unlearn was imposed upon us as children. 100%. I agree with her. Culturally, how we were raised, our backgrounds, where we came from. So true. So yeah, if you're self-aware, I think it's a good time, even for all of us in the chat room, I have unlearned so many things. Like I can't even begin. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, you know, but I'm glad I'm aware of that, you know, as you get older, the things that you've done have not always been necessarily the right thing. So it's like now I'm very self-aware that there's some things that I need to unlearn, right? To be better in relationships or friendships or to interact with people. Like there's so many things, right? Even in the workplace, how people react to you and different things. But to unlearn some of those things that you've learned for a while is a good thing. It's a good place to be at, right? So just wanted to go back to her comment. But yeah, so Jen, we were just, I think the next question was, what lessons as a DJ streamer have you learned on this platform or off? And if you're not a DJ or streamer, like, have you learned any lessons basically on this platform or off of it, you know?
I feel like there's been a lot of lessons that I learned on this platform. There was a lot of positives, I would say, on the platform. I learned that to appreciate the tone of my voice on this platform and appreciate like little things that I do or say or quotes. Like I think Twitch allowed me to kind of like grow into a comfort zone of like accepting like certain parts of, I guess, myself that I didn't really look at or observe, given as what Lady John and I said about the way we were actually, you know, loved in certain ways, where you would learn unloved. You were and learn love the right way. I didn't really see those things, but I started to receive love towards certain things for myself from a community of people who I didn't even know. And I felt like that was a beautiful thing. And that was a larger lesson for me to learn that, that people are out there to genuinely give you, your flowers about certain things you're doing, how you sound. They appreciate you, what you actually are bringing as far as a presence. And then from the other side of it, there's always the other side of the coin. I felt like, yeah, even though I create like, things like Rising Queens and other things like that, I feel like there's always going to be people out there. And that's something I'm learning now, that even though you're putting out the work and it's in a positive light, someone is always going to look at you in a negative light and try to twist and turn what you're doing or who you are, based upon their own issues. And I feel like that's something that I had to learn to accept and not go from 0 to 100 with those types of responses, and learning to manage that and just continue down the path. Honey Flow has been encouraging me. I kind of been hiding from doing Rising Queens for a while, and she's like, let's just do this and let's just do that. And then you meet people like Honey Flow or Yo JD or Portia and Lady Gemini. I'm getting to know you, and of course DJ Soph, who kind of continue to kind of push you and motivate you to live in, as we said earlier, your own purpose, and try to deflect the negativity on this platform. So it's just like, just look at the village that you have inspired or created within the platform on as a streamer, as on Twitch or wherever you stream at, and just reflect on that and dismiss the few weeds out there that will try to take you off that path. Is something that I'm learning and continue to learn. So
Yeah, no, that's really good. And this just dawned on me, like it clicked the other day, like the people that had the highest criticism or said this can't work, that can't work, or different things. And even if they tried meaning well, it's like the most critical comments, I'm thinking none of those people like are on your show, right? Like, so it's like, why would you take opinions or advice from people that have maybe one or like, why are those so powerful? The comments, if they only had a few comments for you, why do they keep ringing in your mind if they're literally not present, right? Like they're not present in your life, they're not present on your show. So do those comments really hold weight? Like it actually just clicked to me the other day. I'm like, yeah,
but
why do they hold weight? They shouldn't hold weight because I haven't, they're not present, right?
I think that goes back to childhood, like those learning to unlearn like what negative things that might have been said to you from being bullied, from friends, families, whoever, like everyone's been through bullying, right? That's basically what it is. And those impact you. And, I feel like even as adults, when you have those moments where someone is saying something negative or spreading a rumor or trying to, destroy your brand, like you kind of just go into that bubble of being that 5-year-old kid who was bullied and picked on, and that you haven't really exactly healed through those traumas. And I think recognizing, I think as a kid, yeah, you only seen that part of things, but as an adult, we need to just stick with the positive stuff that we do see and dismiss that. And I think that's why those things kind of ring. I know that's why it rings in my head, because there was times when I felt that way as a kid. People criticize you, judge you, or made fun of you about certain things you were doing, because they wanted something that I guess that you were able to do. And I feel like
For sure. But I think also too, one thing I've learned, I've actually taken this course with other friends recently, and it's like literally changed my life, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Like this is my second time doing it actually, and and it talked about like how people are broken. So when you understand that, like if someone gives you road rage or someone claps back at you in the office or does something, you start realizing that everyone on this planet is broken. I don't care how confident you are. Every single human being has work to do within themselves, right? So when you realize that, you actually start having compassion because you realize, okay, maybe the person that had road rage on you just lost their son. Maybe they're angry. Maybe they're going through grief. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like all these things you start realizing that everyone has a story behind them. A lot of them are untold, right? Like especially in front of the camera or online. We've seen it in all our shows with people DMing us with being in the hospital and sick and lots of various things they're going through, but they're the life of the party. You would never know in a million years unless if they told you, right? So I guess I feel like that's given me a little bit more, I guess, compassion. Oh, am I freezing? Oh, okay. I think I'm back. Yeah, it just given me it kind of took me outside of myself to realize, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe I won't be as reactive, right? Like normally I would be reactive on a situation, but maybe I'll take a step back and not really it's not worth it, not be as reactive, right? Cuz so that course kind of helped me like, oh, okay, see things and people a bit differently. But anyways, just to your point, Jen, yeah.
And
So
set boundaries. I just want to add on, just set those boundaries early and just leave it as that. That's
yeah. Yeah, and you gotta set those boundaries around honey flow, right? Jen can say yes to that. You gotta set boundaries around me. From day one, Jen's like, "Boundaries, boundaries," because I would always kinda get in, like, always bug her a little bit, like how I'm bugging Lady Gemini a little bit, to be, the bachelorette. But I would bug Jen a little bit here and there too.
Yeah, she's very curious about my aisle two life. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. But it's all love for sure. So yeah, what about you, Lady Gemini? Have you kind of learned any you've been on this app for a while as well? Have you learned any kind of lessons either on this platform or off of it too?
One of the things that I can say that I have learned from being on Twitch is that it's a whole world of just a lot of things. Um, Speaking to one of my first experiences when I got on Twitch, had I let that experience stay with me, I probably would not have stayed on Twitch. It wasn't good. I'm a human, so I went to that place of don't try me. But all in all, Twitch. I listen to Twitch all day long. It's the way I listen to music every day, and people come past my office and be like, oh, she's jamming, I'm going to leave her alone. But also, I have seen more people be supportive on Twitch than not. And I think that's a very good thing to say because it's not, I cannot remember the name of the DJ, but he has this saying, collaboration over competition. Oh, I cannot think of his name. But ever since I heard him say that, it's been embedded in my head. And I do see a lot of not just DJs. I see a lot of streamers who support each other, and I see it more often than I don't see it. And I think that's a really good thing.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. I appreciate it. Yeah, it can be a little bit of the wild, wild west, right? But anytime you go to other platforms, it always brings me back to Twitch, like it is really a community. Like none of us would be here together if it weren't for the platform country to country, which is truly amazing, right? And I feel like if you go on TikTok, Mixcloud, it's like a total different vibe. You think I'm in your business, Jen, with IL2? You got to go to TikTok. Like I'm telling you, there's like every 2 seconds, you single, you single, you single, like that. All like on TikTok. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like more than the wild, wild west out here on TikTok. Whew, this is like Tinder gone wild. Tinder live here on TikTok. Let's see. I don't know. It is interesting. So, what about you, Portia Live? Like, has there been any lessons as a DJ streamer that you've learned, like either on this platform or off of it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think like let's say on, I feel like kind of like what the ladies have said. Like I feel like on Twitch there's a lot more positive than negative, and I feel like that's reflective of the world, even if we don't see that, right? I feel like in the news and in most social media, it's so negative. Like you could be watching a video of a puppy and people have negative things to say. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like people are just so quick to be negative, but I feel like in reality, people are kinder than that. And I think when you interact with people, whether it's on face-to-face basis or on Twitch, I think it definitely is a very supportive space for people to grow, for people to communicate, for people to meet. I think for me on a personal level, I feel like kind of a little bit of what Miss DJ Tone touched upon earlier was, you know, believe in yourself and be true to yourself. And I feel like that comes through a lot, especially as a streamer. And I feel like when you're genuine and you're doing things that you love and you're doing things from a positive um, headspace, heart space, people receive it that way. And I feel like for me, it's been mostly positive, mostly supportive. And yeah, I mean, it's helped me feel more comfortable in my DJing. It's made me feel, I feel like it's a forgiving space to learn to DJ. Because I feel like probably learned to DJ 2 months before I started streaming, and so it was a place for me to practice and kind of hone my skill. So I feel like the positives are far outweigh the negatives in the space that Twitch is for us, especially for
Yeah.
DJs and even for our mods and even for our communities, right? I feel like at some point, like looking at the different people that got connected, like with Soph, right? People thought she's from Toronto. People thought I was like, oh, from sorry, Canada, and I'm like, people are like, oh, are you in Canada? I'm like, no, like I don't know where these Canadians are coming from, but
I could see
they come from my
you two definitely could be
yeah.
undercover Canadians for
And
sure.
so yeah, and then when I finally got to go to Toronto, I was like, wow, like these people are such nice people. Like, and I feel like that's not necessarily just for people in Toronto, but I feel like it just, people in the space are very positive people because then I've met people in Chicago, I've met people in New York, in DC who I've met through Twitch, and I met them in person. And it's just like they've been nicer than they are on Twitch because it brings together very like-minded people who love the same things, the same music. But yeah, for sure, definitely positive. I would
Why did
say.
you think that Jen? Why did you think Portia was Canadian?
I
So
Because
at
think
the stage, she would
so
keep
many of
telling
the
me she's
people
from
on
New
my
York.
stream are from Canada, and I'm like, well, where are these Canadians coming from? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. It was that, and then also I think at the time she was in Canada, so like I was started to follow her on IG.
Yeah.
So I
oh,
think I saw your post, and then so I just automatically assumed, and then which I should have just asked.
You definitely give a Canadian vibe. I mean, Soph the Stage got her Trini flag up, and South Africa. Like you guys definitely give a Toronto vibe for sure. You even sound, you talk the same, you talk like you could be. You just need to say
and
A.
I definitely would say people always think when I meet them, they're like, "Oh, are you from the Caribbean?" I'm like, "No, I'm African. I'm from Africa." So maybe there's something about my South African British/American accent that makes people think maybe from Canada because there are a lot of people from the Caribbean in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
And
Africans too
some really
here.
good,
There's a lot of
yeah,
everything
some
here, pretty
Trini
much.
food in Canada. That was really good. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then Soph the Sage, I would just keep ignoring her every time she'd say in New York. I'd be like, "Hey, Canadian sis, like you're
Yes.
definitely." I just could not.
Yeah, you
wrap my
definitely met
brain
me
around it.
during like when I was just in the Canadian Twitch.
Yeah,
I was like the only American. for a minute.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You could definitely pass. Have you guys been? Oh yeah, you've been to Toronto. Have you been
Yeah,
here at Soph the Sage? Okay.
I did. I went I went in 2022 for Carabana, but that was tough. I gotta go off season to meet more people.
Yeah, because
Caravana is not. That was the
Caravana
worst time to
isn't
try.
really a represent. And if you come from Trinidad, come on, like your
Mhm.
carnival is probably number one,
Mm.
I would say. So you come to Canada, it might be a lot different, right?
But it was cool. I mean, my mom lived there for 4 years, so my mom was just actually to go places. She was like, "Where'd you go here?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't have time. It was just a lot." That's where I met Yo JD for the first time, only time actually in person. We did Caravana together. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. So, how has streaming like for you guys opened up streaming your shows? And actually, yeah, how has that opened up doors basically for you guys as well, just streaming in general? Because some of you just started DJing, right? And now you're traveling the world. So, yeah, if anyone wants to jump in with that, how streaming shows helped you and have doors open for you guys.
Yeah. I'll answer both questions because
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily, but well, the first one was like the positives and all of that. I just learned to maneuver Twitch. I go I go where I feel good. That's what I tell people. That's it. That's just yeah. And then I just lay low. But in regards to the outdoor, like pretty much just my DJ life started technically offline, but for everyone else, it really started on Twitch. Like so everybody like nobody knew that I was learning, or if they knew I was learning, they didn't see the actual lessons happening until I started streaming DJ streams. Because I started streaming that April 21, but I started doing DJ streams in October. Um, so people kind of missed that part of it, the learning, the first set of learning curves. Um, and then I got a gig because of my playing at the end of that year. And it's helped me out a lot with that because people are like, oh, she could play. So then they could actually vouch for me if they want to say, like refer me to somebody, you know,
I could
versus
vouch for you. I could vouch for
yeah,
you.
yes, yeah. Well, you've heard me in person and on stream. Yeah. Like, you know, people also have people who helped me to get better because I wasn't, you always have like the people who are really nice and they're like, oh, you're doing a good job, like good job. But they don't really tell you that you're doing bad. I also had the opportunity to have a friend who was like, okay, listen, we gotta fix some of those transitions and really help me out and then hear my progress as I stream. Because streaming actually is like good practice if you want to do both. But I also try to treat, especially raids, I treat like a gig, like a real life gig. Because you don't know who's listening. There's all kinds of screen names. Anyone could be anybody's. Like you could have. Well, I was gonna use Diddy, but we're not gonna use him as an example. You can have like 50 Cent's manager listening to you. You know what I'm saying? And you never know. So just have to go hard no matter what.
You could have like the Bachelorette of, like the Bachelor show, like in here as well.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, you could have
Wait, not the Bachelorette.
Lady
Oh.
Gemini's like, yeah, leave me alone, get lost. Okay, but piggybacking on what you said, Soph the Sage, have you guys had any experiences? I've had a few cool experiences in my room. So, like you said, you never know who's watching you. Like you're not just playing in your living room or wherever you are. You never know who's in the room watching. So, have you guys had any cool experiences of people coming to your chat or rating in, or just like anything where you're just like, oh my gosh, like, they're a producer or an artist watching? Have you guys had any experiences?
I've had like DJ Spen come in there, and I was like, "Excuse me,
That's
what are you
dope.
doing here?" So yeah, definitely that. And you really don't know who's listening, because even for me, when I started out with streaming, I was I wasn't really streaming much on my own channel just because I didn't know how to set everything up and stuff like that. But I was playing around with a little bit with Twitch, and then there was this duo from New York, actually a trio from New York, Afrokinetic, and they asked me to be a guest on one of their streams. So I was like, okay, because one of them couldn't stream, so I did that, and a radio show. A guy who like owns a radio show was in the channel and listening in, and at that time I was not comfortable streaming at all. So to be in somebody else's stream or channel, I wasn't reading the chat. I was nervous. I was like focused on positions and picking songs, and I didn't see the conversation. But they were like, "Hey, this guy from Abusia Radio, he was asking about you, asking who you are, if you're interested in DJing for his radio station." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I was like, okay, so I was like, give him my info, and he wrote me. And this past Sunday, we just did the 3-year anniversary of an all female raid. It's like they do called Royals. It's all female streamers, or DJs rather, and so they do at least once a year in March. They'll do like an all female lineup, and so I was very much part of that as far as like recruiting some amazing DJs. From Twitch that I know to be part of that. So I would say like 80% was probably some of the Twitch streamers that I recruited to do the show. And it was such a great success. And for me to be doing that my 3rd year, it was amazing. So you never know who's listening. And so for me to, it kind of, I feel like that helped me forced me to record my sets, but also forced me to like listen to my sets and like self critique and have maybe people listen to my sets and give me feedback. I remember like one of my friends from LA who never knew me as a DJ. He was listening in one time and he was not critiquing my set, but he's like, I think your song selections are great. I think you need to like learn your songs more and know what songs like clash in a sense, like what keys. And I was like, I don't know what keys are. So, but as much as I took that to heart, like, it was a great critique because it helped me know what works and what doesn't, right? Even sometimes I'm gonna play a certain song, I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work. So I'm like now able to change the song a little quicker and go to a song that mixes better with that song. So it's just you never know who's out there listening to you.
You never know, and all it takes is one open door. Has anyone else had any cool experiences with that?
I mean, oh,
Yeah, Soph the Sage. Yeah.
oh no, okay.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I mean, I would say the one that kind of threw me off, like that surprised me the most, that actually happened was the Kevin Crown morning show. Like getting
Oh,
to
that's
play on,
dope. Mhm.
I played his anniversary last year because, like, I know some of the his some of his friends, but like I didn't know they listened like that.
That's
So
huge. That's huge.
so he was like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if we had like it was me and another person be on the show. And I was like, oh, is this really about to happen, or is he just like talking? I
Mhm.
was like, is he really? Then he was like, we need send me your logo, your picture, your photo, whatever. And I was like, oh, this is really happening. I was like, it's happening. Like the Michael Scott thing, it's happening. Okay. Anyway, that was a big experience because I started off on Twitch partially because of him, just watching as a viewer. And if you know who Kevin Crown is, he's kind of big in the Caribbean circuit. Maybe what kind of big? He's
Kind of big is an understatement.
It's an
He's
understatement.
big.
Yes, it's a major understatement.
That's
But
huge.
I also got to play turntable like on Rain 12s for the first time. So that was like, oh shoot, but it worked out. He gave me really high compliments.
Were you nervous? Like, because you're like,
Oh,
oh man, I
yeah.
watched the
I thought I was
show.
gonna
And
die.
yeah, yeah.
I was literally like panicking that morning a little bit. That's another YoJD thing. Like she kind of helped me.
Like when you
Um,
did you go down there? Like go down there
Yeah,
and
I
play?
stayed in
Oh,
Brooklyn.
wow.
I halfway live in Brooklyn at this point in my life, in Queens. I'm
Mhm.
always out there, but I stayed with my best friend, and then I went to his JD. She was there for all that virtual long distance, but it was definitely. I went to the house, I went to the studio, and I was at the house literally from like 10 in the morning to midnight. It was hilarious because we were drinking all day.
Is
So.
he in New York? I thought he was in Chicago.
No, Kevin is in Brooklyn.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's in
didn't know that.
Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
He just always never in Brooklyn. He's just always traveling because
For
he
some reason,
does
I don't know.
the
I
whole
got
carnival
Chicago.
circuit.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, he's
okay.
in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
is.
remember.
Do you think he's as big? I mean, he's huge, but like, do you think him and what is it, DJ Puffy, are pretty
Yeah, well,
similar? Like, they're both
I,
big.
for the Caribbean circuit, I think Puffy, he does. I feel like he does because he does more like the international, like the East Asian countries and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But they both, I would say, very similar. Puffy does more. Like I think Kevin stays more in the Caribbean world, and Puffy, from what I've seen, goes everywhere else too. But they're
Okay.
both, I would say, from a skill point of view, they're head to head, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they both do amazing shows for sure. Is there anyone else that wants to jump in or that have seen? Like, I heard people could be undercover, like different user IDs, right? Just to blend in. So you never know. I can give you guys a few stories like Pam the Functress. When I did her tribute, all the guys from the Bay Area, they're like, hey, Honey Flow, you know who's in your room? Thank God I miss a lot of messages like today. I catch them in the replay, but they said it was the producer of the Loonies and the producer that produces and works with like Snoop and Too Short and all these Bay Area artists. So that raised my blood pressure because I definitely, tuned into the Loonies in high school, right, with the little backpack on and shell toe shoes. So I'm glad I did not see that. I kind of ignored it because I would have been hyperventilating or a bit nervous. I'm trying to see. There's been a few cool situations. I think I seen Jazzy Jeff a few times come by, and who was it? Oh, just the other day, Cypress Hill. He does a talk show, and I had no idea. I think he was tuned into one of our panels actually, Jen. So I was like, oh man, that's insane. Because I do good Google searches on all you guys. I'll Google each and every one of you guys on Instagram. Not really, but it does show up, in your analytics or whatever. So I thought, oh, that's cool. You never know who's watching, right? So yeah. Anyone else? What about you, Jen? Have you had any?
Yeah, I had a few. I was gonna add on to what Sophie said about Kevin Crown. I will just say from my early 20s, I know I'm not giving my exact age, but like, yeah, I was part of like that circuit of just like of that whole Caribbean, just going out and partying, and I see his growth over the years from him and Young Chow and like where they at and what they do and where they've been playing and all the little local like Brooklyn lounges and stuff. It really like was something amazing to kind of see. Given that like I guess when I started partying in my hit 21, they were just like brand new to the scene and like it to see that like where they are right now, and I'm basically entering that world. It's inspiring. I wanted to say like, so I appreciate like people like Kevin Crown and even just being on Twitch. Like I never really thought that either. Like just him being there. And I was so excited for you when you were invited to his set. Like I was messaging Yo JD, she can sign off on this. I was like, is she okay? Is she all right? Did she have this? She's like,
I was panicking a little bit. He was like, calm down. I'm like, I can't. I texted him, I was like, how high is the table? Because do I have to wear a heel? Because I'm 5 feet. Like I can't be like, oh my God.
Yeah, like I was so excited for her. Like I love to see
Thank
like
you.
opportunities for that, like for people, and it was amazing to see. And I'm most definitely in there like every minute lurking, like and bothering Yo JD. I'm like, she's fine. I was like, she just dropped your remix. I'm like, okay.
Sure
Like,
did.
we was cheering you on. We was cheering you on in there.
It's
Thank
weird how
you.
you would nerd out, right? I was just reading Soph the Sage comment. She said, I'd hyperventilate if Jazzy came to my stream. And the thing is
Yes.
I've hyperventilated and really nerded out on like female DJs. Some of them, like scary. I probably scared them. But like, it's funny because it's so weird how we perceive people, because it's like, I would hyperventilate over a female DJ that I think is kind of cool over like Jazzy Jeff. You know what I mean?
I did
Like,
that
it's
with
so
Charisma
weird.
a little bit. When I met Charisma, I was like, I'm a big fan, and we're from the same city. And I was like, I'm a New Road girl too. And she was like, oh. She was like, nice to meet you.
Yeah, don't
She's
worry.
quiet.
Everyone knows that I nerded out. Like everyone knows I like was borderline real nerd, like fangirl, right?
I mean, it
Um,
happens.
definitely on her too, for sure, when I first started Twitch. Yeah. But
Yeah.
hey, people should be flattered. They should feel flattered because, a little scary, I pulled out knives and everything. I remember that. That was hilarious. But anyways.
But since you guys talk about Charisma again, I'm like, so my nerded out like the fact that I'm gonna be on set with her in silence. Oh my silence.
Yeah, that's dope.
And on 420 here in Brooklyn, like I'm just like,
I wish I could go.
I know we spoke about it.
I'll be in
Yeah,
Tampa.
congratulations with that. That's definitely an awesome opportunity, So
Yeah.
congrats. When is it again? So you could let people know when you're
April
going to be
20th.
doing it?
April
20th? Okay.
Yeah. The link to the event is on my Eventbrite currently, and I'll start putting it into my streams as well and the flyers and promoting Right Silence. I know he's still here. But
Okay.
I think
Awesome.
for me, I think I didn't know about Hart and Harry when he first started coming into my channel and watching me. Like I heard about him, especially from my mom. My mom and my aunt, like they're all like huge in like the house music scene and like certain genres of music. So they go to like Red Rooster and like all these like places in Harlem to listen to music. And he was always the main DJ there. And like I heard about him growing up, but I didn't know who exactly he was. So like when I realized that who he was and he was watching my shows, I was like, what? I was like, wait, what you mean he was the DJ for the Fugees or this and this? No, like I didn't know. I had no clue. So I had that moment. I realized that given the fact how huge of a Lauryn Hill and Fugees fan I am, so that was real for me. And then as well as when this was funny actually, when I was invited to I think it's called Born for Music from Tap the Soul, her raid, when she spoke to me, she was like, "Oh, just play whatever you want, this, and this." And I was like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Oh, Stretch talk about you, Team Shellens, and your house music sets." And I'm like, "What do you mean he talks about my house music sets? How does he even know about me playing house music?" And she was like, "Oh, he watches you on Saturday." So I'm just like, I was like, I never seen him in my channel. Like, what's going on here? Like, and I'm a big fan of Team Shellens. That was one of the first streamers I seen on Twitch, aside from me coming over here to Twitch with Selector Sean when he came from IG over. But he wasn't the first DJs I ever watched. He was my soundtrack throughout my whole Saturday, making dinner, vibing with my kid throughout the pandemic, every Saturday for a long time. So like when I found out he was listening to my shows, and then when he had raided into me and then also started coming in my channel, like I couldn't transition. I had like a whole panic attack. I didn't know what was going on. Like, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm coming to Brooklyn. Let's hang out." And then I'm like, "Hi," like, you know, having one of those moments. Like, and he's so cool. He's so down to earth, and he talked about, you know, family life and DJing life and experience. And it's so cool to kind of see like these people that you kind of look up to and what they're doing and how they're doing, and like, and have that down to earth moment of meeting them. And, you know, even with Silence, like I love like the way he plays and scratches and do everything. I probably didn't have such a huge fangirl moment that my mom did when she met him on Saturday, but but it most definitely are those moments like you're like, wow, this person listens to me and this person does that. Not sure for him, like he was probably also shocked as well that DJ Ginger's mom listens to me. Like, what? Like, and she really does. So
Have you guys ever had any because it's interesting being in front of the camera. Have you guys ever had any fangirl moments on you where people were like, "Oh my gosh," you know? Like, I think I had that
I was going to ask that
and
question.
it was
I
bizarre.
promise you, I was going to ask
Yeah,
that question.
I had that, and I'm like, "Who the heck are what the heck?" I'm like, "Who the
Yeah,
heck are they talking about?" Yeah.
I've been to events, even if I wasn't playing in the events. Oh, actually, this one I was gonna play, but I hadn't played yet. And I was in Mexico and for a festival called Mi Casa, and I was just like walking to my friend's table, and this girl was like, "Oh my God, Portia!" And I'm always like, "Hi!" Like I don't know who they like because I've never, you know, when you somebody who's not a streamer, but they've been in your
Exactly.
chat, and
Yeah.
then like that's happened in Chicago, and I'm like, "Wait, what's your screen? What's your Twitch name?" And then they'll tell me, and sometimes I recognize the name. I'm like, "Oh my God, you Emerald!" Or sometimes I'm like, "I don't know who that is." Like I don't recognize the name, but it's such a weird thing to have that happen to you. People like, "Oh, you're Portia. We saw your name on the lineup. We didn't know who you were." It's trippy. It's fun,
It's a
but it's kind of
super
like
weird thing. It's a
it's
super weird
weird.
thing. Like, because people see you in front of the camera, they see your life, depending how open you are with them, right? So I think when you see people in front of the camera, you feel connected to them, right? But then they don't realize that we can't see them, nor can we remember all the user IDs, right? So I remember
Yeah.
going on like a party. It was like a party cruise boat in Toronto, and the guy, he's like, "No, you can't get in." Like he kept messing with me. He's like, "No, you can't." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I can't get in." Like the security, the bouncer guy kept messing with me. And he's like, "Oh, Honey Flo, come on, you don't know who I am?" I'm like, "Not really. I've never seen you in my life." And he's like, "I watch your show all the time." And then there was another guy that came in and he looked scared to talk to me. Like he kept kind of looking at me and kind of like very timid. And it was cute, right? Because I'm only 5'1". I'm not a scary person, but it's like he was like this big kind of grizzly bear guy, but he looked scared to come up and talk to me. And then later on the night, he's like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to muster enough courage." He goes, "Is that Honey Flo? I recognize you by your hat." And I kept looking at your show on Twitch, and then I kept looking at you and thinking, "Is that you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was a little nervous coming up to you. I thought that was cute." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." It feels weird though, right? Like, 'cause
yeah,
you're not used to that.
I have to agree. I think when I first started streaming, I went out with my cousins just like to a regular dinner, and there was this promoter there, and he's actually huge in Brooklyn because he runs this big event. But he kept on staring at me, and I was just like, I don't really know why. And then my cousin started to announce, "Oh, he's my cousin Jen. She's a teacher, but she's also a DJ." He was like, "Oh, I seen you on Twitch, and you was on this raid with Selector Sean." I was just like, what? Like, what's happening? Like, and I didn't expect that. And I was like, and then last summer I decided to just start going to like random events or different places. And I realized that people recognize me on the street. Like, this lady's like, oh, I saw you downtown and you're DJ Jen, right? And this and this. And she came up and gave me a hug. I have no idea who she was. I'm like, like, and I was like, okay, this is kind of getting like, I didn't really expect that. And like, I know we can have 60, 70 people watching our channel and sometimes hundreds. But I guess I never really thought about what that would look like when we start going out in the real world, people start seeing you. But yeah, going to events and having people, Antonio Urbana, when I went to event last year, like this guy, he just ran to me and hugged me. And I'm like, why is this man hugging me? And he's like, it's me, Antonio. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
they think you should remember their user ID, but people don't realize they could see us, but we can't see them. So it's not going to be too much of a connection. Like, for example, Facebook, we're streaming to Facebook and YouTube. And I always complain that no one comments on Facebook. So I'll have Twitchers mess with me and they'll start going on my Facebook and start commenting. And then I'll get overly excited on my show. I go, oh my gosh, we got 2 comments from Facebook. And then I realize they're Twitchers messing with me. They're jumping on my Facebook to do it. But when I took a flight back to Winnipeg, it was shocking. Like, this guy, I haven't seen him in like 30 years. Some of these guys, I don't even know what, like, I didn't recognize them after 30 years. Right. And they're just like, hi, how are you? And they're talking like they know you. Like, I knew them 30 years ago, maybe not now. Right. And they're like, yeah, we watch all your shows on your talk shows on Facebook. So I think, so people they could definitely be lurking or watching, but whatever you do in front of the camera, even if you feel like maybe you don't get a response, like I don't get a response on Facebook. Sorry, Facebookers, I don't. Where are you? Like, come through, say something, but people are watching, right? So, and people are watching what you do, and you just never know where your next opportunity could be, right? So, yeah.
And you never know who you inspire, because I was shocked by what even Yo JD was saying about me, and I was like, who are you talking about? What? Like, how me? So you never know. People are always watching, but you never know. I mean, these experiences are those. I remember I auditioned in Miami for Ananya Vega. She does in the wintertime, her and Louis usually spend a lot of time in Miami. And so she usually does like I think a monthly party in the wintertime, when she only books female DJs to open for her. It's usually 2 or 3 DJs that open for her, and she usually closes the night, or she'll play maybe second last and then somebody else will close the night. And I would audition for her, and I didn't make the cut. At that time too, I was barely learning to play on CDJs, and it was just like very stressful, whatever. And then I remember her and Louis were down there for the ritual party, and Louis Louis was on the decks, and Pablo, my boyfriend, was like, "Are you gonna say hi to Anani?" And I was like, "She's not gonna remember me." And I come around the corner, she's like, "Portia," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Hi," and she goes, "Hey, are you doing anything next week?" And I was like, "I think I can clear my schedule. What's up?" And she's like, "Do you want to play here for an open for my party next week?" I was like, "Yes, let's get in touch, girl." Like, so you just never know. Like, you never know how opportunities are gonna arise, because I know for that audition I definitely did not do well, but I think she saw the things I was doing online, and I started playing more, and I started playing out in places more. And I think she was like, I think she's ready, because I definitely wasn't ready, let's say 3 months before, when she first heard me play. So just get out there, get yourself out there. You never know who's listening, you never know who's watching, whether it's Twitch or what you're posting on your social media.
Yeah, it's so true. You definitely never know. And also tag people, and don't be afraid to like try new things, whether you're a beginner or not, right? Look at Portia's story. That's an incredible story. Jen, things are opening up for her. Soph the Sage got on Kevin Crown's show. That's unbelievable, right? So it's like, keep trying. I kind of feel like a lot of women in the industry sometimes don't feel like they have the confidence, right? Like, that's why I push them, even myself, but I push other women that like can scratch or do all these things. I'm like, look, you need to get in that battle. You need to like, I'm DMing so many women, you need to get in this, you need to do this, right? Because I mean, they have that skill set to do it, but I think sometimes it boils down to confidence and maybe feeling a little intimidated. It's like getting on the basketball court with like all men. It's like, can you play the game? Can you get your shots in? And I think maybe women could be intimidated a little bit. What do you think, Jen?
I'm getting a little nervous. We're not going to go back to that story from the first panel, right?
No, we're not gonna go back. I went into a really bad ball story. I'm gonna start stuttering again, so I'm just not even gonna. It was like a big, like blue aerobic ball. Like,
No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it today. So don't just leave it. You watched that one, didn't you, lady? Yes, you were there. You were there, right? Yes. So, yeah.
were you there, Lady Gemini? You were there, right? Were you there?
I played the background real well.
Oh, did you? But did you understand what I was trying to say, or not really?
I played the background very well, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Look,
But
Chris
you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm not going to explain myself.
Cut is
When I
here
try to
now.
explain, I start stuttering, and then I can't get out of the story, and I try getting out. Were you there, Portia, when you heard it? Oh, Chris Cut is
No.
now in the room.
Yeah,
She
you-
said
you-
I
you
was
don't
there.
I'm about to say,
I
cut
do
the
think-
Chris cut.
I do think that we need to figure out what Lady Gemini could start a stream on. Okay, not DJing.
Yes.
We're talking in the back room before you started the show. I was
Yeah.
like, there's so many people out there doing such cool, fun, innovative things on Twitch. There's a platform for everything. I
Yeah.
mean, so I think it's time for you to just kind of figure out what are your passions, what things that you feel like you're skilled at, what things you feel like you're passionate about, and try to create something around that. And have us help you. Like we're here.
No, I'm definitely going to do
Mhm.
that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
People are always open to help you more than you think. Like don't be afraid to
Exactly.
ask.
Even if you pick topics, right? Like she's hilarious, you guys. She always cracks me up. Now that she's coming to my show, like bantering, like she's funny. So I think like if you just come up with, I could see you doing motivation. I could definitely see you doing that. I could see you reaching people through the story you have and linking it to your nonprofit that you're doing right now. I could definitely see that helping people, even like through grief and loss, which I'm trying to also do on the side, which is not always easy. That's tough for sure. But like the more you vocalize your story and the more you push it out, the easier it gets, right? So there's lots of people going through that right now in this season. I think you would be a powerhouse to help people. But then you also have a real fun, like loving, kind of like very aligned to being a bachelorette on a dating show type of vibe thing as well. Sorry, for all you guys that don't know, I've been trying the longest time to get her to be a bachelorette on my dating show because she would be perfect and she's not cray cray. And the men are always asking for good, solid, great women, and she's one of them. But she keeps saying no to me. So, did you have any ideas that you were thinking? You could even talk about pop culture on your show, right? Like just pick different things, topics that you like and just talk about it, right?
I haven't given any of that a thought. I know that it would be something very basic because I know my ministries that I would definitely not try to DJ.
Mhm.
But a serious thought, I really didn't give it any really serious thought.
Yeah. Aw. Have you had other people encourage you? I'm sure they have. Yeah.
They have
What do they say? What do they say that you?
the same things you all are saying.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have it in you. You should do it, and you could definitely link it up to your nonprofit. And I see it going really, really far, and if anything, it's practice, right? Like Twitch is helping us. We're not just DJs or streamers. We're like producers of our show. We've learned graphic design, green screens, audio, video. We've learned so much software, hardware, how to talk on the mic, how to be relatable to people, how to work with all kinds of crazy people out there. We have learned that too, like a mix. Jen's like rolling her eyes. Lots of interesting things we've learned, right, Jen? What else have we learned, you guys?
To how to deflect some whispers that you never want to see in your life.
Oh, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Especially when you
I
ignore
get
them.
those, and I'm not even a streamer.
Yeah, especially how do you ladies do that? I don't know what to do. I'm not sure with that because it's like, hi, how are you? Hi, 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 beautiful. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, 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 hi. Like the
I
more
don't
I
get along
ignore
with
it, it's like 2 weeks straight every day.
No, don't ignore it.
Oh no?
I don't get a lot of it, but on Facebook, people will write me and they'll be like, "Hi, hi, beautiful, hi." Blah. I'm like, and I just have to go to. I'm really a nice person, but that is my pet peeve, and it irks me because if you're writing me, please have something to say. Why are you writing me? So I'll get to the point and be like, "Is there something I can help you with? If not," and I'm very straightforward, and people stop because you just have to go. What is it that you're looking for? What do you need? Is there something I can assist you with? And if they don't give you an answer, please stop writing me or block. I just
Oh
don't have.
yeah? Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't really know
Boundaries.
how to do that.
Boom. Boundaries.
No.
Or
Boom.
You,
I
That's
want to
it.
talk
when
to you every day
if
on
if
Instagram, and I'm like,
when you get
I don't have
something,
time.
please write us, write me, write Jen, write somebody, and be like, how do I respond to this? We will let you know
I
because
mean,
it will
unless
make
if
your
you're
life.
rocking S curl and you hit the gym and you know you're like, then I
But
will make an
find out
exception.
what the motive is. What is it that they are writing you for? If
Yeah.
they can express it, great. Then you can maybe have a conversation. But if you're just writing me, because I mean, some people will just write you hi every fucking day, and it's like, stop,
Yes. Every
stop.
day. And it's just like, you know, people don't realize that it's also you're putting a lot of work into your shows. So someone wants your time every single day on Instagram, but yet like they're not even on your show. They're not even present, haven't been on your show for a couple years, but yet they want your
Did they
time
sub
every
and did
day.
they give you biddies? No, thank you. Bye. Move on.
Oh, okay, just
I
like
love
that.
you
I
right
gotta
now.
learn from you guys.
I love her right now. I love that. This is something I say all the time. And Honey Flow and I have this discussion. She's like, "Well, I just ignore it, and this, and this." I'm just like, "But
Dude, no,
why?"
But they
because
come back
listen,
harder though. You guys
no.
added me on LinkedIn.
if
Like,
if you ignore it, it's like if you start having a symptom. I don't know, I'm gonna make it a disease, and you
mhm,
just ignore it. It's gonna grow. It's gonna fester. It's gonna become something bigger, right? Nip it at the bud, at the beginning. Find out what that person, and you don't have to be mean. You could just be like, "Oh, is there anything that you want to talk about? That is there something I can help you with? Like, what is the purpose of you writing me?" Because let me tell you, when somebody has nothing to talk to you about, they will stop. You just have to literally be straightforward with people. You just have to be honest with people because otherwise, if you ignore it, they're gonna just keep. Oh, okay, at least she's not blocking me. At least she's not being mean to me, and they're just gonna keep wasting your time. It's a waste
like
of
I've
energy.
told them I don't even have time for my real time friends and my family right now because of this world. And they're
You
like,
don't
"Oh
even
yeah, I
have to do it.
understand." And then all of a sudden it's like more messages like every
Um,
day and I'm like,
Yeah,
you
but
"Dude,
you
waste
don't
of
have
That's
to
time.
crazy.
entertain. You don't have to entertain the conversation. Like she just said, what is
yeah."
your
I
your
try to
goal?
ignore it. Like I try to leave it, but then it's like more and more and more and more
Don't
messages.
leave it. Don't ignore it. Confront it. What is
I've
it
had
that you
some
are
weird
writing?
messages like, "Oh, I'll probably won't move to Canada and you probably will never move to the States." I'm like, "What in the world?"
What?
Maybe I shouldn't be talking about aisle 2, guys.
Not your problem. Not your
That's
problem.
other vibes.
Oh, sorry, I don't wanna
Oh,
scare Lynn. I
right.
don't wanna scare her because I'm trying to encourage her to come on my dating show. But yeah.
Yo.
Oh, Chris doesn't entertain it. Yeah, okay, I gotta learn from you guys. I'm not very, good at this stuff. I gotta learn from you guys. I
I
feel
think
bad.
I
I
think it's
feel
because
bad.
you're
I
a
get
very
an
nice
input.
person and you don't want to come across as being mean or being rude. But like
Yeah,
Jen says, you have to set boundaries. You have to if you feel like somebody's wasting your time, wasting your energy, you need to cut that off. And
yeah,
you can be
Mhm.
nice about it. You just can ask him. I mean, like when people do that, I go, "What is it that I can help you with? Like what is it that you want? What are you writing me for?" And they usually
yeah,
don't have much to say. So it's like stop writing me or block them. It's
yeah, for
really that
sure.
And usually if they're offended, then they had ill intentions anyway.
exactly.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of them feel, like, offended or, like, I'm crushing them, and I kind of feel
But you
bad.
don't owe them anything. You don't know
You
Not
don't
them.
no
owe them
No,
a
I just
thing.
keep
Yes.
saying I'm not
Period.
interested in anyone online. Like, maybe if you have an S curl kit, maybe we could talk, or, like
Um,
or a bit of curl, then
I'm
maybe
not doing an
I will
escrow kit.
negotiate.
I'm
I'll be
not.
doing that. I'll be doing that. So, if that is, then my DMs are open,
oh
but
my
other
god.
than that, probably not. I'm joking, you guys. Now I'm gonna get everyone, with curl, messaging me, right? You never know. Yeah. So, wow, I can't believe it's already 10 o'clock, you guys. The time has gone so fast. I could definitely chop it up, more with you. I don't want to take up too much of your time either. Black Girl Gamer, we got to get her on next time. I know you just messaged me as well. Any other woman that wants to come on, just DM me and I hope to do these monthly as well. But why don't you and I want to thank Jen for helping me. We've done 4 panels this month. She's done graphics, questions. I was going through like all these like questions we didn't really get to, like a little nerd throughout the show. And she's a natural born teacher. So she's been helping me on getting more comfortable with larger panels. So I want to thank her. And, why don't you kind of mention again to everyone, like what, I know not so many of the ideas, but like things that you're thinking or what Rising Queens means to you as well, too, or what your, basically what your brand is, like what you want to do kind of thing for the future. Because Rising Queens was my sponsor for her brand was my sponsor for these panels as well this month. So she's really helped me a lot. Make sure you guys are adding her and everyone else on the panel. But if you want to speak a little bit more about that, that would be great too.
Sure. And I also want to give you your flowers for encouraging me to kind of bring it off the shelf. I want to say, I think, like I always said, the real reason behind Rising Queens was to give women a chance to show their talent, right? And they came down to giving women a chance to be on a raid and showcasing what they do as a DJ. And then eventually it came into adding streamers who were, streaming like other particular content and ideas. And then I seen the growth on the platform where women were now leading raids and being added on raids, and there was balance. There's equality in certain ways that is transparent. But I feel like now after Honeyflow making me pull it off the shelf and beating me up for like literally 2 weeks, I didn't really know what my new purpose of Rising Queens was, and I was at a standstill. And I want to give people also like Selection Mrs. Fish also, who's been on my back about what do I want to do with this? What's my next step? Why don't I continue doing the raids or any of that? That I felt like the idea of that wasn't really what I wanted to kind of continue with. I wanted to, that happened where I wanted to give women a space to showcase their talent. But now I feel like I'm in a space where I want to give women a chance to grow. And what that looks like is something that Honeyflow and I are discussing, and she's helping me with in that manner, where I feel like we have a lot to share with each other, and that's something that we have to do as a community. So creating an overall community around that is something probably that I'm looking to build later on. And those details will roll out throughout the year. And I love what these panels kind of created and inspired me to think and grow and rekindle that light, that purpose, and that energy behind why I even started Rising Queen. So I appreciate you all in the chat, on the panels, everyone who was here, Chris Cut, and other streamers who were added on, Daddy Priest, everyone kind of helping, kind of funneled, I guess, my new purpose for Rising Queens. So.
Yeah, I kind of forced her, guys. I didn't
I don't
mean
know
to.
force is the word.
Didn't I? I said, yeah, you're putting it on. Just put it on. Put it on the flyer. Put it on. We're going back and forth.
She yelled at me and I had COVID. I was like, I'm sick. I'm like, I can't redesign something new for you. She said, just put the Rising Queens on it. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, I'm not doing anything with that right now.
I don't know what I'm doing anything with Rising Queens anymore. I don't know. So it's kind of interesting how that happened. She's like, you forced me. I'm like, did I? I don't remember. I'm trying to promote or do what I can for you. I didn't realize I forced you, but it worked out well.
I had 101-degree temperature, and I'm just like, she's making me do this.
But it worked out well, though, because now it's like it was a very fast idea that happened. And we went from one panel discussion to 4 of them within a month, which was a lot of work for sure. And it was, it was amazing, except the ball story, the blue ball story. We can leave that one out.
And it all came up because I felt like what I recognized on the platform is I seen how much like you guys were the inspiration. DJ Chanel B, Portia, Yo JD. I told her, I was like, yo, all these women are killing it right now. Let's showcase and show, like, for Women's Month, give them and I wasn't even thinking about me coming on here or Rising Queens, anything like that. I just put in Honey Flow's ear that I think we need to highlight where these women are going and how much they rose up from where they started on this platform to where they're now going from Soap to Stage, from turning from a mod to a DJ. Yo, JD, the same thing. Portia, you coming on and learning your craft, and we see you traveling the world now. Like, we needed to, and Chanel B killing it with all her events and everything, her organization. Like we needed to give that voice and let people hear us and see what we are doing, give ourselves some praise. So that's why I kind of put that bug in Honey Flow's ear. I didn't think she was gonna force me to do something else, but I guess it did work out. You know,
once I get started on, I can't stop. I'm like, go, 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 go. I'm like, okay. I didn't realize I was forcing you, but it worked out well. Hey, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize we had Hype Train here, guys. Oh my goodness. DJ Chris Cut. Oh my goodness. DJ Chris Cut. Seriously. Oh my gosh. She must have gone a lot of Vegas gigs. Oh, she already does a lot of Vegas gigs, but like, what the heck? She's dropping money like they drop in Vegas on the floor. DJ Chris Cut. 500 bits. Oh my gosh. Chris Cut. 2,500 bits. Wow. Thank you, girl. I appreciate that. Well, Soph the Sage, you're my guest. What's happening here? Soph the Sage. What the heck? 575 bits. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you so much. Silence BP, 100 bits. Wow. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. V Kirk, 200 bits. Oh man. Level 3, 36%. I will be honest and transparent with all of you guys, because I believe in transparency on the Honey Flow show. All bits and subs are literally going to my stomach. Honey Flow's stomach is literally all bits and subs are literally going to my food addiction. I'm not even joking. I went to Roti. I don't know if you heard of it out here, Soph the Sage.
No, I want to go when I get there. I didn't get to eat like enough food. I didn't get to the full experience when I went.
So it's this Trini spot. It's just like a on the wall spot. I went to Roti, and they had rotis for $2.99 and doubles for $2.99. So you best believe all the
roti was $2.99.
It was $2.99 for a mini roti. You know how many I bought? You guys, I bought 3 mini rotis, 2 doubles, like a crazy person.
That sounds so
and a
good
peanut punch, which is
Double.
this is why I'm gonna have to go back to green screens, or else I'm gonna be like this in front of the camera. And I don't know. So I had a good laugh. I'm like, if people only knew on the Honey Flow show, which is kind of crazy because I am doing this full time, and that's a little nuts. But everything is going to having a nice meal. It's going to roti and jerk chicken and rice and peas. It's pretty bad.
That's actually a really good question. I'm curious too. Like, I mean, now that you say that, I'm curious how, not that I'm asking, but I'm curious how people spend their Twitch monies. Like, I'm gonna start asking people.
I should really be putting it towards bills, but we don't get.
You should put it towards whatever you put it towards.
Yeah, you did work.
Food makes me happy. I think I'm with Chris.
Exactly.
Like,
no,
you
I'm
should
so
see.
curious.
And I will tell you guys, going to the roti place, that is the new aisle 2 spot, because I had 3 men approach me when I was like salivating. Like, I was just like sitting there by myself, like just the juice of the roti and like eating it. Like, it looked like I didn't see food for a while. So all 3 of them at separate times laughed and looked at me. They're like, "You're really enjoying the roti, aren't you?" And I was like, "Oh, wow, that's a good leeway to try to talk to a woman," right? So aisle 2, guys, is the new spot. Go to the roti place. I'm telling you, you'll have everyone talk to you. But how do you guys spend that? Back to Portia's question, I just want to say, oh my gosh, DJ Chris Cut is feeding my food addiction. 500 bits, another 500 bits. What the heck, Chris Cut? DJ Jonah, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate you so much. And everyone else supporting, I appreciate it. Level 3, thank you guys for the Hype Train. I will get a nice meal tomorrow. I'll post it for you guys. Thank you. So what do you guys spend it on, Jen? Now that we could go back to Portia's question, that's a good question.
That's a good question, but I have to point out that DJ Chris Cut says she's not going to change her name to DJ Chris Cuts Eats.
Eats? Oh, eat.
Yeah, like Uber Eats. super riot for your
Oh man. And you know, like US dollars is doubling out Canadian. So I'm gonna get like five mini rotis.
Mhm.
I think the guys were loving it though. They didn't ask for my number. I think they were a little scared. They just walked out and they're like, well, maybe we'll see you. That's such a Canadian thing, guys. They're like, well, maybe we'll see you next Tuesday at this roti place. I said, yeah, maybe. Sure. Why not? You know? But I thought that was funny. But yeah, going back to Jen, yeah, Chris Cut is the new Uber Eats, guys. She is the
Chris
new DJ Chris Cuts Eats. I like that. Eat some beats. Eat some beats. How about that? I like that. So what do you spend it on, Jen? Can you even say that
grill,
online? Can you
that's
say
my
that online?
yeah, my internet bill, and as Chris Cut said, her subscriptions as well, like, you know, my Spotify, my titles, and that's pretty much it. I will say that used to be StreamYards as well when I used to do a lot more talk based or teaching stuff on my platform. But yeah, it basically, you know, pays for itself in that way. Um, I teach remotely, so that does help out with just like, hey, I don't have to pull this out of my actual check to pay for my internet. But yeah, it had its fun moments. I would say during the pandemic, we had a lot more fun with it because there was a lot more coming in, and I used it to fund some trips, and it did help with that aspect too.
Yeah, yeah. No, mine would be like StreamYards and like, you know how you always have to buy equipment? You always have to buy something, right? Lighting, equipment,
Mhm.
like a sound box, microphones. Like there's always something that you have to get. Or you could whine on your channel and get a free mic stand, like Dream Citadel. He sent me this mic stand. I thought that was very sweet. Like, you know, if you ever want to impress a female DJ, get her flowers and get her DJ gear, and I think that would work quite well. But he wasn't trying to impress me. He's just, you know, just being nice and giving me a mic stand, guys. But anyways, so you spent on an internet bill. What about you, Soph the Sage? What do you do with your bits and
When I do stream, look, I'm not the most. I'm getting more consistent with time again, but bills or a nice meal, some chicken wings.
Ooh, I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. I have a chicken wing emote for a reason. I like chicken wings a lot, but yeah, I know yeah, that's basically it. Like if I have like a bill or some kind of expense that pops up, you know, because I'm currently trying to build on my equipment for outside DJing, especially. Um, and that takes a lot of money. Streaming too, because you know, I still use my janky little laptop, but the reality is I have to upgrade one day, and that costs more than I can do with right now. So I put it towards all that as well. Like,
Yeah,
well,
it's
you
a
know,
lot. Like the
it's very
MacBooks,
expensive.
very
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah,
I mean, my
if you
MacBook wasn't my DJ laptop wasn't expensive.
mhm.
Um, I got an old one though. It was like $400 I spent on it.
Oh,
And my
wow.
laptop that I stream on, I had gotten for free from my last job. They had business laptops that were just going out. I don't use it for
So you're
anything else.
stealing the company's supplies and
Oh no,
laptops?
I
That
won it
is
in a raffle. It's
Oh, you
mine.
won it.
It's
Oh,
mine. Oh
wow.
yeah, it's mine. Oh yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
said put your name, and I never win anything. And then I was shocked to see my name on the email. Talk about, oh, you won. I mean, it was a used laptop, but it's a business laptop, so it's better than a regular personal.
Yeah,
So that's the only reason why I could keep it going as best as I can. But I
so
need to
true.
upgrade. Yeah.
Chris Cut, yeah, says updating equipment for streams is constant. So true. Music, I pay for StreamYards here for my talk show. That's why when people cancel like last minute, you're like, oh man, because like you pay for it, right? Like week to week. So if people do no shows, which doesn't happen often, but once in a while it does, it's kind of like a bit disappointing, right? Because you do put a lot of work into it in what we do. Now, Gemini, I know you're not streaming yet, and I have a feeling you will soon. Uh, if you had the bits and subs coming in, which I know you're going to very soon, what would you spend that on?
Probably the same things y'all do just to keep the streams flowing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Porsche, oh, so not a date? Like maybe a date or something? What about a date? No.
I ain't
She's
paying for
not.
no date.
She's not. Oh,
I haven't
whoa.
I haven't been that kind of girl in a while.
Wow.
God
So
bless.
Gotta learn from her. Okay.
man,
Great. Yeah, that's true. I gotta move over there. Sheesh.
just
Yeah. I mentioned the date thing, guys, because I've been trying the whole show to get her on my dating show to be a bachelorette, and she's like a strong no. That's why, in case you guys are wondering. Portia Live, what about you? What would you spend it on again?
Well, for me, like I would say the biggest chunk that I spent when I first started streaming was my DJ equipment. So I was streaming on Pablo's what do you call it? Like a well, to upgrade my equipment, right? So I bought CDJs with that money. I was lucky enough that I had a friend in Orlando who was selling his 2000s, and I was looking to transition from, like to something bigger, to something more like industry standard. So he was selling them for a really good price, and I bought those. Probably one of the more expensive things I bought with Twitch monies. But like I have a bank account that's strictly for money that goes from Twitch to my bank account, and then for like gigs. So that money is kind of combined, and it supports my travel. So I'll use it to buy flights. I'll use it to book hotels if we're traveling out somewhere outside of outside of Argentina. I'll use that to like buy something like maybe a meal that we wouldn't typically pay for, but something that's like special, something that's expensive that we'll use the I call it Twitch funds. We use Twitch funds for those things. So it's come a long way. I mean, mostly it's Twitch related or music related, but sometimes it is for travel. But yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming through. Oh my gosh, 3 hours and 20 minutes. I know I could go on another couple hours, but I want to ensure I respect your time too. I want to thank you guys for coming on board with me, and just doing this today. It means everything to me. And definitely supporting my show, everyone in the chat that's come through and listened as well. Make sure you guys are adding all of them, you guys. Really, really dope female streamers, and also Lady Gemini. Make sure we're going to encourage her to get a show. I know she's going to do really well at it. Make sure you guys support her nonprofit with her brother. She's doing amazing things in the community. I was just looking to see who was online, and I think I'm going to do something different today, guys. Hope you don't mind. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys know him. I've been on his raid before in the past. Like sometimes he'll do high school raids. And I was doing a show with Mr. Laddenhouse yesterday, and it definitely broke my heart as well. Just hearing the news with Blockbuster Music. He's doing a show live right now, but we found out that I just found out actually on my show yesterday that he's got stage 4 cancer. Pancreatic cancer. He's doing a show right now. So I want to do whatever I can to support him. He's been on my heart this morning, and, such a positive person and guy. And we want to do what we can to definitely love on him. So if we go in his room, normally I would never like ask people for a hype train or ask people. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for him, I think, in a couple weeks as well. I don't know when this news just actually came up talking to Mr. Landhouse yesterday. So it was definitely surprising to me. And also the panel that I had was extra special because my friend was on, and she shared that she had stage 4 cancer. I didn't think she was going to share that. So that was definitely a very different special for me having her on, and just having her share her stories and being on video and sharing her positivity with people. Like it was more than a show to me. Like it really, really touched my heart. And I was trying not to get emotional last show. So we want to do what we can to support. And if you guys feel led in your heart, like let's just give this guy a hype train. This is the first time I'm actually saying this on my show. Let's do what we can to give to him and his family, and let's just bless him. And again, when you're a blessing to other people, that blessing comes back to you. So this Twitch community is awesome. It's beautiful. And we've met so many great people. And I'm so honored, like all the people I've met in my chat and all you guys coming on with me. It means so much more than just a discussion to me. So thank you. Blessings to all you guys. Let's show him some love and just give him a crazy hype train. Let's just do something together. There's 30 of us in the room. We can do something to bless him. So let's do that. Okay. So I don't know how long he's on for, but we're going to rate in right now to him. And thank you guys again for coming onto the show as well. If you want to just say the next time you're on, feel free to jump in while I set up the raid and mention to everyone next time you guys are on as well.
I was just about to remind you of doing that.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
So-
on tomorrow. So it's Friday. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then followed by Yo JD at 4 p.m. and Black Girl Gamer at 6 p.m. So catch us.
I believe I'm streaming tomorrow at 3 on an 80s raid presented to you by Selections Mistress Kush, who has been doing raids every day to support female empowerment. So,
All right. And Soph the Sage.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'll be back on next Wednesday at 7:30, I believe, or 7:38ish for my Wednesday show. I'll be doing my Wing It Wednesday show, but with an album listening party. It's a new thing I'm trying. So it's a thing.
Awesome. And then Lady Gemini, I'm going to see you as the Bachelorette on my new dating show. We haven't announced a date yet, but I know it's going to be coming soon. She's just like, Ray, to I'm not ever going live with you again.
Bring her tea.
Lady
She's
Gemini, I
drinking-
don't know how she squeezes that into every time you have to speak or she's asking you a question, she squeezes in the "I'll too" moment with you. How does she do that?
I can't help it. It's very hard. It's very hard finding good bachelor women. I didn't realize how hard it is finding I mean, there's lots of good women out there, but I didn't realize how. And she's perfect,
You're persistent. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I got.
Yeah, it was all in fun. Make sure you guys add Lady Gemini, you guys on Instagram, add all of their shows. Let's rate into Blockbuster. I know, so settle, right, Rose? Father Damien, make sure you keep Blockbuster music too in your prayers as well. So let's rate into him right now and go from there. So let's see what we can do. Let's spark up something, let's show him some love. A hype train would be awesome, sparking that up in his room. Let's just show him some love and throw up some hearts for him, and definitely keep him in your prayers. And thank you guys. Thank you, Jen, for helping me all this month. I appreciate you a lot.
I got you for a lifetime. We're friends. Okay, we got this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for definitely helping. It was awesome. I hope to see you guys. I hope to connect with you guys in real time someday too, like each and every one of you guys, So let me know if you're ever in Toronto and I will take you to the roti spot. $2.99.
I want to double. Yes.
I was gonna say that Soph the Sage, it's a hop, skip, and a jump if we can go sometime in June, July. Because when y'all was talking about that restaurant, I was like, I need to go there to get some roti. So
yeah, you guys in New York have no excuse. It's so close. So
Yeah.
if I can come from Argentina to come to Toronto, you guys can definitely make it to Toronto.
That's true.
You're right.
And
I'm actually trying to get out there this year.
Yeah, and you might get married. You might get married in the roti spot. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. I'm heading back there next Tuesday. That guy thinks I'm going to be there. I'm going to head back.
I need that health care. So you know what?
Facts. I heard that. You need the free health care.
Oh yeah, you need the free health care. Yeah, you're right.
I might need to get married up there for put me on 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, 90. Oh, okay. Well, we can talk then with my dating show. We're definitely going to talk.
Thank you. Somebody else.
Yeah. If you're offering 90 Day Fiance, we could definitely talk. I could find you some Canadian bachelors. I mean, you're practically Canadian anyway, so I could find you some.
Canadians are so nice, but they're still men are men.
You're absolutely right,
It
girl.
it's definitely a different culture. I mean, it's all perspective, right? Like
Mhm.
everyone's like, "Oh, it's so nice up here." But if you go very out west or very far east, they may have different perceptions of a bigger city, right? It's like
Mhm.
Yeah.
North Carolina versus New York, right? So people may be like, "It's so rude here," but then people traveling in are like, "Oh, people are so sweet." You
Right.
got to go to Montreal, right? Montreal, Calgary, some of the small cities. That's where you're just Halifax, some of those cities, you'll see a different vibe there. All right. So I'm going to I think we rated out, right? I was just
We
trying to,
did. Did we
okay.
rate our
we-
own channels too? Like, I have to write.
Oh,
Oh,
do you
maybe
have
you
to
can
rate
rate
your own
it to
channel?
me too, no? Because I
We
think
can.
your JD
I think
rated
so.
into you, so you
She
can
did,
rate out
yeah.
if you have people in your stream.
I don't even know
Okay.
who's in my stream.
So go to Blockbuster Music for all you guys that don't know. That's here. I'm going to put in the chat.
Let's
So we're
hype
going to
train
go.
going.
Oh, awesome! It looks like did they kick it off?
No,
The
Yeah,
hype
a
train?
couple
person
of us
has
are
decided.
throwing videos in there already.
Sorry, let's
I
see
said a
here.
few people like Soph and I are like putting videos, just trying
Oh,
to
you
kick
go.
off a hype train.
Okay,
We need a
awesome.
third
Okay,
person. Oh, there we go.
I think we just kicked
Yep,
it
there
off
we go.
here.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna definitely jump in there and try to do a little bit more. But yeah, definitely
Oh, there
check
we go.
out his show. I don't know if he's actually
Father
showing
Damon
live.
just gave a 5-pack.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
That's
know he's
awesome.
gonna be tired this weekend. It's Holy Weekend or week.
Yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah,
you're
for sure.
right.
I'm going to be meeting Father Damien. He's inviting a bunch of DJs over, like tons of them. I go,
I
"Oh, what are we
love
doing?
Father
Is there going to
Damien.
be food?" He's like, "Yes, honey, Flo, there'll be food for you.
That's a
I'll
good
get my chef to
question.
cook."
I
You know
didn't
what he
see that
says to me?
Is it
He's
him
not
who
being
brought him
no food
coffee?
being around.
He always gives me leftover. He's like, "I'll give you my leftovers. I'll give you my meal." Like the chef will
Oh,
cook for him, and he knows I'm greedy with food, so he'll just give me his. I feel like that guy's touched by an angel, man. He's
Yeah.
not.
he's
He's not real.
yeah. He didn't feed us though. He made us bring him something. We brought him coffee. And he showed us his church. He showed us where he DJs. He
Nice.
showed us
Oh,
his
really? I
motorcycle.
missed you. When did you come? I missed
I've been
you.
there 3 times.
I didn't know that. You never told me that. I didn't know. You're gonna have to tell me next time. I had
I'm
no
gonna have to
idea.
come back. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
you
come
gotta
back
come
to let you
back
know.
because I
I
didn't
love
even
it there.
know.
I even went to
Yeah.
Montreal the last time I was there. I went to Toronto for like 4 or 5 days. Went to Montreal for like 2-3 days. Came back to Toronto for like another 3 days. I love it there.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know. But message me when you come back. I'd love to
I
connect
will
with
let you
you.
know. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
to play for the Gathering of Souls party. I got to play for what's that? There's like a hip hop versus house one. What is it called? It's like a Sunday like daytime party. I forgot the name of the guys who do it, but they're like a hip hop crew. But they do
Oh,
like
dope.
a hip hop versus house kind of
Nice.
thing.
Yeah.
So like a hip hop DJ will play and then a house DJ. Because we love all the stuff. And then I played for DJ Ray Ray's what do you call it? Forgot the name of the place. I feel like it has something to do with chicken.
Have you linked up with Paulie Lopez and some of those guys out here?
Yeah, we've been.
They're
Oh
tech.
yeah, we went to dinner. We went out. We saw Jason Palmer play. I mean, I've been
Oh
all
man,
over.
you guys, I didn't get the invite. I'm inviting myself. I'm gonna message
Yeah,
Father
we
David
got
to get the
roasting
invite.
dinners. Yeah, we did a roasting chill with the crew. Went with the Paulie Lopez, Casey Music.
Oh, nice.
Yogi Chick. Yeah, we
Doesn't
went. I think
Casey
we-
Music look like a West Indian George Clooney
It
in
does.
real life?
I
He
think I called
does.
him that one time.
When
Yeah.
he was behind me, I was making mistakes because I got nervous. So he started laughing and was moving the fader thing or whatever. I was like, oh my gosh, like he looks like George, like Clooney in like real life, like Anyways, so all right, so we're gonna jump in there.
Single.
Sorry.
I said you single. He's single.
Yeah, I mean,
You should probably go on your own dating show.
Well,
he's a handsome guy. I'm not
I was
gonna lie.
thinking about
I mean,
that, Lady Gemma.
when I saw him in real life, I was
I mean,
like,
we could
whoa.
probably host it. Portia and I will host while Honey Flo goes on the show.
Listen, I will do that.
We'll come with the boundaries. boundaries, and you and I could be like the moderators, and we can find
You
a
can
bachelor
be like
for
your
you.
security in your stream.
No, I'll
Mhm.
do it. I'll do it if you agree to be a contestant or a bachelorette. If you do that first, then I'll do it, and then you guys could co-host and do whatever
I mean, that'd be
crazy.
for Lady Gemini since I already have somebody. But I think you would be good out of the moderator seats, out of like the control seat, having you as a guest. Because I feel like you interview so many people. Who interviews you? Who finds out like quirky things about you?
Oh,
And
well,
Mhm.
Stirs the Soul interviewed me, and then my friend the other day tried putting me on blast.
Was it
and
on
doing
your
that to me.
stream?
Portia, we had this discussion the other day. I told her that I
Stirs
said
interviewed
when we do
me.
our follow-up stream, I said I should interview you, and she was like, "Oh no, I don't know about that." I said, "Why not?" You know, like she
I
don't
feel
want to.
like I already give up. I already give so much of my life.
If not
Everyone,
an interview, just like a girl chat.
you know
like,
what? I feel like
uh,
I'm so open online. I feel like there's not too much people don't know about me. That's the thing, right? Like they don't really. I mean, Stirs the Soul interviewed me. He's the one who interviewed me, right? Stirs was going like Barbara Walters
Stirs
on
is
me.
still there. He got left
Stirs
behind.
Stirs the Soul was like really like Barbara Waltering me. He's like, "So, Honey Flo, how was your childhood? When did you cry?" I was like, "Oh my gosh." They're like, "How long have you known what was it like growing up with your parents?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna try to get me cry on my own stream?" I'm like, "You got lost, buddy."
I
I
remember
think it needs to
that.
be outside
That's
of your
too
stream
deep for
so that
me.
you're not in your comfort zone. You're not in control of the stream. I think it
Mhm.
needs to be on somebody else's terms.
Yeah.
And
I
she
mean, other
deflected
people have
so much
interviewed
for
me.
that interview.
Tweaks interviewed me. I think I don't know. I was on a few shows. You know, they kind of interviewed me.
You
Yeah.
deflect so much when you're in the hot
Me?
seat. Yes, you do.
I do? No,
Yes,
I
you do.
don't. With what? With what? I'm so
Mhm.
open. I'm such an open book.
Stirs, don't let me send Stirs the
I
link right
deflect
now. He's gonna tell it
ratchet
all. We're gonna
stuff.
have a
I deflect ratchet stuff because I'm not too much of a ratchety person. So that's
don't
what I
have-
deflect online.
There
I'll
was
keep it
nothing bad
100.
what he was
I deflect that.
asking.
That's all I deflect. Hmm? What?
It was nothing ratchet that he was asking.
No, because
Mhm.
sometimes people want to get real ratchet on you. I'm like, no, I'm not. That's just not me. So that's the only thing I deflect. But anything else, I think I'm a pretty open book. No, Jen's like,
I
"Ah,
think I need to work on a possible real date then with some
okay, I'd be fine
eligible
with that.
bachelors in Toronto that I know.
Yes. Okay, let me know. Let me know. Because
I think I would love to. Because I feel like
'Cause-
you're such a good person, a good woman, and I know some good men there. I know it's hard to find good men per se, but I know a few there. So
yeah, the only good men I see are the ones I interview that are like all married. So that doesn't work.
or live
You know,
somewhere else,
but I've
or live in the
heard
U.S.
that.
or something.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe I might be open to that. Maybe I'll head down to Argentina with you or the US. I'm fine. Maybe I'll do 90-day
I don't know.
fiance. Who knows? You never know. Look around for me, ladies. Look around. You
Look
know,
around.
look around in New York. Lots of good looking guys in New York. Yeah,
True.
exactly. And Miami and what is it? North Carolina. North Carolina? They tip their hats at you. They have a lot of
Good-
manners.
Good manners. Mhm.
Don't believe everything you see,
honest.
sis. That ain't
Oh,
it.
see, I believe that. I
That
take
ain't
it
it.
all in. I take it all in. The words.
They
and they're
don't.
like,
They
"How
don't
you
at all.
doing, ma'am?" They're like, "Ma'am, Miss
These dudes
Lady."
down here don't even hold doors. Southern
What?
hospitality
No
wear.
way. No way. Are you serious?
Mm-mm.
I
Because
feel
they're
like
coming from other states because it's a little
Yeah,
cheaper
that's
than
true.
California and they don't know how to act.
when I go to the States, you have guys like running out of the subway, like running after you or like jumping out of bushes to talk to you.
Not
I'm
out of
not-
bush.
That doesn't happen in Toronto. It does not happen in Toronto. And I'm like, who the heck? What
Then
the heck? I'm like, why they're running? I remember being in Atlanta and these ladies are like, hey, miss. Okay, I got a horrible Southern accent. Hey, miss. Those guys are all hollering at you. I'm like, what are they saying? And this is all I heard, Lady Gemini. Shorty. If y'all like shorty. But I couldn't understand because the Southern drawl was very deep, but it would be like
Oh,
shorty. And I'm like, oh, they're talking to me. I'm like, oh, okay.
I
didn't
know what
know
you're
that.
talking about because when I went to the UK, I realized that how less men were like they weren't as aggressive as what you see in New York.
New
And I was
York
like,
is another story.
I was like, wait, no one's grabbing on me or doing whatever, and I was like, I don't feel any type of way. I was like, wait, hold on.
Oh my
This
Oh
is
my
gosh,
like,
Honey
gosh.
Flow, the hype level, like the hype train is level 5.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, we should probably get in there too. I know we could keep
I think
chopping it up. Oh
you're
shoot.
still live, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, I gotta fix this. We're still
Yeah, why
I
live.
mean,
is
I
it
don't know.
good?
That's what. Well, I feel bad because Stir the Soul is in the conversation, but
I know he was in
Yeah,
there. I was like, oh, Stur's got left
He
behind.
for real came back and said,
Oh.
"I made it back in time."
Oh
Lady
I don't
makes
shoot.
you off easy.
I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. I'm trying to drop like trying to see if I could drop like something in his chat. Ah, my computer is stuck. I hate when that happens.
Oh,
There's
we don't
only
have time for the. Oh, there's only 22
20
seconds left. Yeah.
5 seconds on
You
the
can still
train.
drop
Right?
something. It doesn't have to be part of the hype train. People still
I know,
appreciate
but
it. I'll
it's still
keep
kind of
getting it
nice
after the hype
when
train.
you could get it to the next level, right?
True.
Oh man. Okay, here. Oh, my computer, my Wi-Fi is
just
so
posted.
slow. It's so slow. 7 seconds.
I didn't even
Ah,
know I had bits in there. I'm like, I had bits.
oh my gosh. Okay, here. I don't know if it worked. Did it
Oh, that was
work?
Well, it ended up at 90%. Oh, you did.
Oh,
It did. It said that your Honey Flow is subscribe it. Yeah,
did it work or?
it worked.
No,
It bumped it to 90%.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it didn't. Oh, shoot. Oh, that didn't work. Okay,
I
well,
mean, 90% of level 5 is not bad.
yeah.
Thousands of, not bad.
You guys, I gotta good take one for the team and give up all my rotis and my stuff.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, we're coming
Let's
up there
see.
for that.
Oh, I'm trying to. Oh, this thing's stuck. Okay,
I
here,
think
I'm
maybe
gonna try
make
it
the
again.
roti like a special occasion.
There we go.
It's
Okay,
delicious, but it's super
I just,
fattening.
there we go. I just dropped. Okay, so yeah. Okay, there we go. I missed the hype train. Sorry, I was trying to do it while that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay. I still, even though we missed the hype train, that's okay. I'll drop it. So the
Wow.
Like
rotis
level
are now
7.
this, guys. Yeah. That's awesome that they did that. That's really good. But yeah, it was so good, you guys. Thanks for coming through. It was so much fun. Maybe I'll consider. Maybe I'll get you guys to be the co-hosts. I think it would be fun. You guys could do that then.
I'm
I'll
down for
be
that.
open to that, and I'm down. Portia Live. I'm down if you know some
Some IRL dates. Yes,
some good men in Toronto in the
I
tea
do.
box, whisper me because I
I'll-
don't know any
I'll hit you up, sis.
except a priest. But of course,
Maybe
obviously,
Father
it's not
Damien.
like that.
Not except for
Not Father Damien. But we got a priest to marry us. Right?
He
So,
does have motorcycles. He's a fun one.
yeah,
So,
he's
yeah.
he's hilarious. He's hilarious. Except
Well, I
when you
have an
DJ with
idea
him.
for the dating
What's
show.
the
We can have them-
idea?
we can have them come on. They don't have to turn their cameras on at first, right? They just have them answer a bunch of questions, kind of let you funnel through them and see which ones you kind of vibe with just from their energy without seeing them as of yet. Because we don't need you to go looking for the S curls and kind of like just putting them in the back burner.
But that's what I was. But that's what I was going to do with Lady Gemini. I was going to put all their cameras off, right? And it was just the Bachelor. Like DJ Fresh is our Bachelor. He's a good-looking
No
guy.
S girls, though. No S girls.
Well, okay,
You have
maybe
a
someone
type,
a
but
little
you
bit
go
away.
away from your type.
No, honestly, I joke around about it, and usually my friends usually laugh. Like they're like, "What are you thinking, girlfriend? You never go for your type." Like it'll be like the nerdiest character like ever, and it's quite opposite from what I like. And they're just like, "What? We're so confused right now." So I don't know. It it happens. You got to be open, right? You got to be open.
Definitely
So.
that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay,
ladies,
so
I need to go. It's almost midnight here.
yes, I'm going to end this stream, you guys, because no one needs to hear about my IL-2. And we
It was
will.
nice to see you in person.
I know.
Finally.
Finally.
Lady Gemini, it was nice to meet you.
Yes,
You
it was nice meeting you.
also-
I followed y'all.
I'm
y'all
following
on
all of y'all now, and I'm
Instagram.
gonna be in the stream showing off.
I didn't realize I wasn't following you, Portia, on Instagram. I was like, oopsies.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow each other for sure.
I was like,
Keep-
click,
Yeah,
click,
I'll do
click
that.
in the chat. So who do I not follow?
we'll definitely do a follow-up thing. That was fun. It was definitely fun today.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
yeah. All right. Well, have a great night, you guys, and
Good night,
stay
ladies.
blessed. And we'll
This was
definitely talk
fun.
soon. Yeah, it was fun.
This
It was fun.
was fun.
Well, it'll be even
Yeah,
more
it was.
fun if you come on my dating show.
Ooh. Well, I'm a
Anyway.
question mark
Um,
person, so Gemini is gonna have to definitely be the.
Okay.
I'm in a question mark situation.
Y'all didn't see me disappear.
Ooh.
I don't
Oh.
know what. Jeez.
Yeah,
Gonna slide down the couch.
exactly.
Those question marks are, you know.
Yeah, my
I-
question
I-
mark.
So,
Yeah,
Okay,
Ginger, you know my
Joanne,
situation.
A
Here's your
question mark
question.
could always be pulled into exclamation mark on the Honey Flow show, dating show. A question
Forget-
mark can change very easily to an exclamation mark to something even better. So the
OMG.
stage. Just remember
and
that.
more exciting. Exclamation mark is more exciting than a question.
Exactly. All right. Have a good night, you guys.
Bye.
We'll
Good
talk
night.
soon. Okay.
Talk soon.
Take care, you guys.
Bye.
I can't see.
Bye. Oh, did it work?